Well, hello there. Star Wars night from Gas South Arena. Atlanta taking on the Greensboro Gargoyles for the first time ever. Gladiators have won 4 in a row and are riding a 6-game home winning streak. Entering today's matchup should be a fun one as these two teams meet for the first time ever. Guy Chiarenza with you alongside Andrew Fleming here on the Gladiators Broadcast Network. Andrew, it's going to be interesting what we see here today because these are two teams that are meeting for the first time.
Yeah, so usually the Gladiators recently, we've been playing a lot of teams that we play a lot. So coming out here against Greensboro, first meeting between these two teams ever. There's no real bad blood, no real rivalry between these two teams.
Nope.
So it's going to be interesting to see how these first 5-10 minutes play out with two teams that have never seen each other before.
Gladiators winning last night in Greenville 7-4. At Bon Secours Wellness Arena picked up their 20th win of the season, now at 20-6. Hitting 40 points on the season here at the beginning of January. They are currently second in the South Division. Entering today's matchup for Greensboro, it is their inaugural season, and they've had a rough go of things to start. Gargoyles fell against South Carolina last night at home. They're in the middle game of a 3-game set. They will go to Charleston tomorrow night for that game against the Stingrays to wrap up their 3-3. But the Gargoyles, with the loss last night, fell to 7-13, 5-1 on the season. And Andrew, this is a Gargoyles team that has struggled to start this season, and their biggest woe is their ability to score.
Yeah, this Gargoyles team having trouble scoring goals, and this Gladiators team, we've said it many times before, one of, if not the best defensive team in the league. So it'll be interesting to see if Greensboro can get anything going offensively against this stout Gladiators defense.
The Gladiators have been great defensively, although that was something that kind of went by the wayside last night in Greenville. Gladiators giving up 4 goals for just the 3rd time this season. But interestingly enough, that was the first time last night that Atlanta gives up 4 and still wins the game. It was a night to remember for the Gladiators. Little did we know that last night would end up being the Gladiators' first game of 2026 due to the players' strike and the holiday break. Atlanta 12 days off. There are a lot of questions on whether or not they would be able to score with the loss of Louis Boudon and Isaac Walter, and how they would play after 12 days of trying to shake off some rust. There really wasn't a whole lot of that offensively for the Gladiators. Put up 7 goals, and you got to be pretty happy. First 3 of those goals came from defenseman Andrew. First, let's talk about that. Gladiators this season haven't really got a lot of help from scoring on the back end outside of Chad Nychuk. It's a bit refreshing to see 3 D-men score in yesterday's game.
Yeah, and even touching on Nychuk, obviously Nychuk, ton of assists on the season, but only 3 goals on the year, so still not a lot of goal scoring coming from your defenseman, but when you're getting goal scoring from your defenseman, it's just a great compliment to your offense. If you can score from the back end, it's huge, and it obviously helped the Gladiators a lot last night.
The Gladiators are getting Ryan Conroy back into the lineup here today. He served his 1-game suspension yesterday. Back in the lineup, he'll be paired up with Nolan Orzek here today. And Andrew, we both really like Conroy's game so far this season.
Yeah, Conroy, he just plays any way you kind of want him to. Obviously, in his last time out, we saw him with a big fight. He can play that heavy style of game, but also he's just such a great skater, and he can move the puck exceptionally well. So he's just an all-around great defenseman, and I'm excited to see him back in the lineup here tonight.
Gladiators also got 4 goals from forwards. First 3 were scored by defensemen. Orzek scored on the power play in his Gladiators debut. He and Jack O'Brien both had a goal yesterday. Orzek also adding an assist. They are making their home debuts here tonight. But let's talk about the special teams battle, Andrews. We did mention that Orzek did score the power play goal for Atlanta last night. It's going to be interesting to see how this special teams battle fares as Greensboro, like Greenville, a bit of up and down when it comes to their special teams. Tell me about it.
Yeah, so much like Greenville, Greensboro tends to struggle a little bit on their power play right now. Greensboro only clicking at 14.3% on their power play for 27th in the league, but very, very good on the penalty kill, clicking at 87.3% on the kill right now for the first place in the league on the penalty kill. So it'll be interesting to see how this Gladiators power play tries to attack this very stout Greenville penalty kill. Or Greensboro, sorry.
It's easy to get those two mixed up. We saw Greenville last night, Greensboro here today, and it is Star Wars night here at Gas South Arena. Gladiators will be wearing Star Wars-themed specialty jerseys. And Andrew, one key point for the Gladiators is getting the high ground. I want to see if Atlanta can score first here today because they've been so good when they do so this season. The Gladiators have been money when they score the first goal.
Yeah, you come out, you get that first goal, kind of sets the tone for the rest of the game. Most teams, obviously all teams, you love to play with a lead. You play with that lead, you can settle in a little bit defensively and get to your game if you get that early lead. and it's obviously much better than trying to chase the game from behind. So, as you said, the Gladiators have been very good when scoring the first goal this season. Would love to see them do that again here tonight.
Gladiators are on a 4-game win streak. They have scored first in each of those 4 games, and the Gladiators, when scoring first this season, have a record of 16-2. One more thing of note before we head to our break. The Gladiators have done very well in this building so far to start, Andrew. Atlanta shaping up to be a great home team. They are currently on a 6-game home winning streak. What stands out to you most about the way the Gladiators play in this building?
You know, I think we get a lot of great fans here, and I think the Gladiators do a really good job of feeding off of that fan energy and bringing that energy into their play style. Obviously, we see the Gladiators, they play any way you want them to, but they're very good at playing a very heavy game. And, you know, fans come, they love the big hits, they love the fights here, and I think the Gladiators do a really good job of feeding off that energy that the fans give them here at home.
The Gladiators this season are 11-2 at home, looking to make that 12-2 on Star Wars night, what is shaping up to be a packed house at Gas South Arena. We come back here to Duluth, Georgia. We'll get to the starting lineups and the keys to the game presented by Beaver, Toyota, and Mazda with our head coach, Matt Ginn. Atlanta meets Greensboro for the first time ever. We are back to the Gladiators Broadcast Network after this.
Tonight's game is brought to you by the ECHL, celebrating its 38th season of affordable family entertainment. The ECHL would like to thank everyone in attendance for your support of ECHL hockey. The ECHL would also like to recognize the following league sponsors: AMI Graphics, exclusive signage provider; Athletic Knit, official jersey supplier; Baron Rings, official championship ring supplier; BFL Canada Insurance and Sutton Special Risk, sponsors of the 2026 ECHL Hall of Fame induction ceremony; Dash, official mobile auction platform; The Fairley Group, official commercial insurance provider; Flow Sports, exclusive streaming provider; Hotel Planner, official hotel reservations partner; Howie's Hockey Tape, exclusive hockey tape and lace provider; In Glasgow, exclusive puck provider; Prolific One, exclusive secondary ticketing partner; and Warrior, exclusive on-ice equipment provider and title sponsor of the 2026 ECHL All-Star Classic. Catch all of the ECHL action live in high definition by logging on to flowhockey.tv.
Feels like everyone's trying to copy the $5 piggyback. So how can you spot a knockoff? It won't taste like Wendy's. This job is easy. When the deal is as fresh as the meal, gotta be Wendy's.
Sometimes life's collisions leave us feeling off balance. But at 100% Chiropractic, we know how to get you back on track.
We don't just straighten you out, we empower you. We educate you on how to get to the root cause and give you a play-by-play strategy on how to get you back to 100%.
We even use lasers.
Lasers!
Our $49 first experience includes a complete set of comprehensive chiropractic x-rays, a fit 3D scan, and your first life-changing adjustment. Visit us and break the ice. Discover the power of chiropractic care at 100%.
When you need inspiration, it's worth shopping Kroger. For thousands of appetizing ingredients that inspire countless mouth-watering meals. And low prices that add up to big savings, like over $600 in digital coupons each week, and up to $1 off per gallon at the pump. So you can get big flavors and big savings. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Gwinnett Fire and Emergency Services is ready to answer the call, but we'd rather prevent them. Our free home safety survey includes checking smoke alarms, identifying common hazards, and reviewing your family's home escape plan. Schedule yours today.
Welcome to Gas South Arena, home of the Atlanta Gladiators, as for the first time ever, they take on the Greensboro Gargoyles. Everybody, Guy Chiarenza here on the Gladiators Broadcast Network and Peachtree Sports Network alongside Andrew Fleming. Got a good one on tap here, and it's going to be interesting to see how this one goes. Gladiators at 20-6, coming off of a big 7-4 win against the Greenville Swamp Rabbits in Greenville last night. Gargoyles at 7-13, 5-1, trying to right their ship in their inaugural season here on Star Wars Night from Gas South Arena. Andrew, should be an interesting matchup here today between the Gladiators and the Gargoyles. I'm curious to see if there's a bit of a feeling out process between these two teams meeting for the first time ever.
Yeah, I think you absolutely hit the nail on the head right there. I'm interested to see how these first 5-10 minutes go. Two teams who have never seen each other before. No real bad blood between them heading into this game at all. So, as you said, I think you hit it perfectly. Going to be a little bit of a feeling out process here to start.
Let's get to the keys to the game, presented by Beaver Toyota and Mazda with our head coach, Matt Ginn. Key number one is to play north. For those of you who have been watching our broadcast, listening throughout the course of the season, these themes are about the same. A lot of the same keys, but that's because they've been working. They've been winning. The Gladiators at 20 wins in the campaign. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Play north means that the Gladiators want to spend more time in the opposition zone than their own. They do say that offense is the best defense, and the Gladiators had a lot of that last night in Greenville. Second key is to tighten up our details, and despite the 7-4 win, there was some things that the Gladiators wanted to do better. It wasn't exactly a coach's dream last night's game. You like what you see offensively, but defensively, the Gladiators can tighten up a little bit. The TJ Septenfelter between the pipes and Ryan Conroy back in the lineup. Gladiators hoping to right this ship defensively. Gave up 4 goals for the third time last night this season. Third key is to manage the puck. It's as simple as it sounds. Gladiators don't want to turn the puck over to a Greensboro team that, despite having struggling scoring this season, you don't ever want to make it easy for them. Gladiators trying to really test the Gargoyles here in front of a great crowd here at Gas South Arena. And those are your keys to the game, presented by Beaver Toyota and Mazda with our head coach, Matt Ginn. With that, let's get to the starting lineups here today between these two squads. We'll start with the visiting Greensboro Gargoyles in their first ever visit to Gas South Arena. Getting the start at the left wing position is number 14, Patrick Newell, standing at 5'10", 170 pounds, native of Thousand Oaks, California. Currently on the season, has 3 goals and 13 assists for 16 points in 26 games this season. His starting center here today is Ethan Lay, the phenom rookie for Greensboro. Lay is top 10 in scoring amongst rookies this season, standing at 6 foot even, 194 pounds, native of Anmore, British Columbia. At just 24 years old, has 6 goals and 14 assists for 20 points in 25 games. Getting the start at right wing for the Gargoyles is number 27, David Gagnon. And this is a guy that got sent down from their AHL affiliate, the Chicago Wolves, earlier in the day. Gagnon caught a flight, made it to Atlanta earlier in the morning. He gets the start at right wing. Right number 27, Gagnon stands at 6 foot even, 194 pounds, and is a native of Halifax, Nova Scotia. And in 20 games with Greensboro this season, has 7 goals and 1 assist for 8 points. Getting the start on the blue line for the Gargoyles is number 22, Artyom Borshov, standing at 6'3", 209 pounds, hailing from Belarus. The 25-year-old has 2 goals and 6 assists for 8 points in 26 games this season. He'll be paired up with number 2, Trevor Sins, standing at 6 foot even, 190 pounds, native of St. Michael, Minnesota, has 1 goal and 3 assists for 4 points in 23 games this season. And getting the start between the pipes for the Greensboro Gargoyles is number 80, Ruslan Hadjazeyev. Try and say that one 3 times fast. Standing at 6'6", 201 pounds. The native of Russia is just 21 years old, is a prospect of the Carolina Hurricanes, the Gargoyles NHL affiliate. And in 14 games on the season, has a 2.48 goals against average, a .905 save percentage, and a record of 4, 6, and 3. That is the starting lineup for Scott Burke's Greensboro Gargoyles. Burt, the head coach, followed by assistant coach Jason Binkley, as the Gargoyles play the Gladiators for the first time ever. Now, your starting lineup for your Atlanta Gladiators. Getting the start at left wing, fresh off his 3rd goal of the season last night, it is number 18, Carson Dedemy, standing at 6'1", 194, native of Regina, Saskatchewan, is able to put in a Joey Cipollone rebound for Atlanta's game-winning goal last night in Greenville. Dedemy now up to 3 goals and 4 assists for 7 points in 26 games. His starting center here today is number 19, Jack O'Brien, standing at 6'1", 184, the native of Denver, Colorado, playing in his second game with the Gladiators and his home debut. O'Brien this season, 12 goals and 11 assists for 23 points in 26 games, was acquired in a trade for the Iowa Heartlanders on Monday and had a goal in his Gladiators debut yesterday. Getting the start at right wing is number 71, Joey Cipolone, fresh off his second career 3-assist performance. Cipolone now up to 6 goals and 7 assists for 13 points in 26 games. The native of Purchase, New York, stands at 5'11", 192. Getting the start on the back end for the Gladiators at left defense is number 6, Andrew Jarvis, the alternate captain, standing at 5'9", 181, native of Morrisburg, Ontario, has 2 assists in 25 games. He'll be paired up with number 74, Dylan Carabia, standing at 6'3", 200 pounds, native of Sebastian, Florida, playing his 6th game for the Gladiators this season. And getting the start between the pipes is the rookie phenom, number 35, TJ Septenfelter, standing at 6'1", 190. Under contract with our AHL affiliate, the Milwaukee Admirals. Septenfelter, native of Marlton, New Jersey, has a record of 10-3, 1.53 goals against average, 942 save percentage. He is statistically one of the league's best, as the Gladiators are the only team in the ECHL to have 2 goaltenders with 10 or more wins each. Gladiators are led by head coach and director of hockey operations, Matt Ginn. Assistant coach is Zach Fennell. Equipment manager is Ben Ellis. And our athletic trainer is Nick Nelson. 3 men officiating through here tonight on Star Wars Night at Gas South Arena. Referee is Chaz Nochi, wearing number 33. Linesmen are Kyle Gasberry, wearing number 6'7", and Sean Deloe, wearing number 95. Gladiators wearing their Star Wars jerseys is a clone trooper look. White jersey base, black numbers, and some black trim. They skate from right to left to begin play. Gargoyles wearing their black jerseys with the gargoyle head on the front, silver numbers, and purple trim. They will skate from left to right to begin play. Coming up next here from Gas South Arena is the national anthem. This is the Gladiators Broadcast Network.
Thank you for everybody for participating in the singing of our national anthem. And we appreciate you, Miss Alicia Castillo. One more time, a round of applause.
We are all set and ready to go from Gas South Arena. It is the Atlanta Gladiators hosting the Greensboro Gargoyles in the first meeting ever between these two clubs. Guy Chiarenza alongside Andrew Fleming here on Star Wars night at Gas South Arena. Andrew, this is a packed crowd here in Duluth. See if the Gladiators can feed off this energy and score first, which has been their forte so far this season, 16-2 when they do so.
Yeah, this is just absolutely awesome to see. Seems so we got heard number around 8,000 in the building tonight. Absolutely love to see people coming out to this Gladiators Star Wars night.
Gladiators wearing Star Wars specialty jerseys. It is a clone trooper design, not a stormtrooper, a clone trooper. It is a white base with the clone trooper mix-ins mixed in, all that design elements with black numbers, a bit of a light blue drop shadow. Gladiators will sweep from right to left to begin play here tonight. Greensboro wearing a black jersey with silver numbers and gargoyle grape trim, although most people call that purple. Escape from left to right to begin play here today. Atlanta, with their win last night, 7-4 over Greenville, picked up its 20th win of the season to improve to 20-6. Greensboro fell last night at home to the Stingrays. They are sitting at 7-13, 5-1 to this point in their inaugural season. It'll be Jack O'Brien to meet Ethan Lay at center circle for the opening draw. Referee Chaz Noshi will drop it, and away we go on a Saturday night in Duluth. Gladiators win the opening face-off. Denemy, who had a goal yesterday, tried to tip it forward. Instead, Greensboro able to shimmy down the right wing wall courtesy of Patrick Newell. They pump it to the trapezoid. Conroy is there, back after serving his one-game suspension. Make that Jarvis 6, not 8. And Conroy still on the bench for the time being as Atlanta moves up ice. Cross-ice feed for Cipolone, broken up between the circles. Gladiators put it back in front of the starting netminder, Ruslan Hajazayev. The Russian goaltender for Greensboro, a sharp-angled shot goes off the near side of the net. At the line, Jarvis pump fakes, tries to slide one down low to Cipolone on the near circle, but that just escapes him. And the Gargoyles will clear out to center.
Yeah, good look by Jarvis there down low, looking for a tip by Joey Cipolone right out in front of the net there, just missed it.
Conroy back in the lineup. Brendan Less is out here today, so we'll see Conroy with Nolan Orzek as the Nychuk Mateer pairing climbs over the boards. Young through neutral ice, feeds it to his right on time for Ryan Nolan. Nolan returns it to Young, but he couldn't quite grab it, rolls in on Hajazayev, and he will freeze just 1 minute and 15 seconds into the contest.
Yeah, we said it. Going to take a couple of minutes. These two teams feel each other out. Little back and forth action here to start. No one really getting any grade A opportunities a minute into this one.
Face off to the left of Hajazayev. Young will take this face off up against Ryan Richardson. And Richardson will win it for the Gargoyles. Noah Delmas will pitch it out to the neutral zone. Puck simmers down in front of Demetrius Kumanzis. Shot from the far wall, steered away by Septenfelter. Second chance, might have hit the near post and stayed out. Both teams still looking for their first shot of the game technically as Alex Young darts to the neutral zone, drifting right, chips it ahead. Looking for Cody Sylvester, he'll go away from him, and Delmas will retrieve for Greensboro. This being the first of 3 meetings between these two clubs this season, and it is the only one at Gas South Arena this season. The next 2 will be played in Greensboro, one in February and one in March, both at the beginning of the month. Gargoyles trying to get something going offensively. Gladiators put an end to that on the near side. Scardina moves to the middle with Burns. Scardina tries to take the return pass. Gets to the trapezoid, not much more. On the near wall, Ryan Francis forced back out to center. On his forehand, chucks it across. Right on time for Orzek. Drop pass, Scardina back to Francis. One-time shot is blocked by the stick of the defenseman Billy Roche. Puck loose on the far boards. Burns centers off the stick of Conroy. Puck will trickle back to the neutral zone. Retrieved by Orzek. Fans on his upwards pass. Does hang on to it though. And now it's taken away. Shot stopped by Septenfelter. The turnover was created by David Gagnon for Greensboro. And Septenfelter is there to make the stop.
Yeah, tough turnover there for Orzek inside his own blue line. But I really like what he did earlier in that shift, activating as that right defenseman, starting the rush, and allowing a good opportunity for Ryan Francis to be set up off that.
Face off to the right of Semptimphelter, making his first save of the day. Gladiators off that face off are able to whack it to the near corner. There is Jarvis to lift it to the neutral zone. Morgan tries to flag it down. Had an assist in yesterday's game. Tosses it to the far corner. O'Reilly Appelt looked to get to work. Greensboro's able to sniff it out. Gladiators dressing 11 forwards and 7 defensemen here today for the second straight game. Mike McNamee still on injured reserve. Has been skating during practice, getting closer and closer to return, but still unavailable. As Young goes right down the middle, but offside is Appelt. And so the clock will stop with 16:31 left in the first.
Yeah, dressing 11 forwards, 7 defensemen here tonight, the Gladiators. These forwards are going to have to dig in a little deep here. You know, you're down 1 forward. Everyone's going to get a little more shifts than they usually do, a little more ice time. So you're going to have to dig deep and fight it here.
Nychuk on the left wing, tries to pitch it inside, but Greensboro sniffs it out. Here's Weiss on the left wing, spinning away from Matier. Tries to rip it across the ice, but it's broken up and intercepted by Jack O'Brien, making his home debut. Denemy feeds it right wing for Cipollone. A bit too hot to handle. Delayed offside on the Gladiators, so they'll just stash it down to Hajeyev. Just about 4 minutes gone by here in the first period. Weiss back in on the left side. This time shovels it by Matier to the near corner for Rinaldi. Up the wall, kite to the line, back to the left circle for a chance. That is gobbled up by Semptimphelter with 15:51 left in the period.
Nice easy first save there from Semptimphelter, sliding left to right, cutting off the angle, making a nice save there, just gobbling that one up in his chest.
TJ Semptimphelter, statistically one of the best goaltenders in the ECHL to this point. You have to think he's making a good case too as to why he should be represented at the All-Star Classic in Allen on the 19th. Face off to his right. Alex Young will take it. Going up against Tyler Weiss, formerly of the South Carolina Stingrays. Glads fans certainly know him well. Puck is dropped. Greensboro's got it. Gore gets it to the left point. Across they go. Shot by Roach. Goes wide. Rebound held onto by the Gargoyles. They thread it to the left circle. Turned over there by Rinaldi. Gladiators pitch it back down, and that'll go down as an icing with 4:27 gone by in the first.
Yeah, it's a good idea there by Sylvester, trying to lay that one out in front of Nychuk, who was breaking up the wing. Just laid it up in front of him a little too far. Goes down for icing, face-off coming back into the Gladiator zone here.
Alex Young will take the face-off again, this time going up against Ryan Richardson. And the Gargoyles have one another. Shot from the left point is blocked. Goes below the circle, trickles in on Semptimphelter, puts a hand on it, and we get another stoppage. Gladiators are now able to make a line change, and so we'll see Conroy and Orzek back on the ice, and then Scardina with Francis and Burns. It really was one of those nights last night where just about everybody chipped in offensively. Definitely good to see when your entire lineup shows out and factors in. Just goes to show how much depth the Gladiators have. Despite losing Louis Boudon and Isaac Walter for the foreseeable future, they're still able to put up 7 on the Swamp Rabbits. Meanwhile, Gladiators weave their way to the neutral zone. Here is Francis, slingshotting a man down the right wing for a shot that is gloved down by Hajeyev. Happy taken by Orzek. 5 seconds shy of 5 minutes gone by here.
Yeah, you love to see that from Orzek. As a defenseman, pushing the offense there, getting up on the rush with Ryan Francis, and get a pretty decent look on net for himself there. I'd love to see these defensemen keep pushing up and keep trying to generate offense from the back end here.
Face off on the far circle. Richardson tied up, able to play it back to Sins. Greensboro tries to hit a pass on the right wing, looking for Wade Murphy. former Idaho Steelhead, but that's a bit too far ahead. And so now it is Orzek again, slotting it down the left wing. And back and forth we go. Possession back to the Gargoyles as that goes astray. Kumantzis fights behind the net. He's possession on the left wing. Shifting to his forehand, looks to center, bottled up nicely by Conroy. Mickey Burns on the left wing, able to escape the wall and pitch it forward to the Gargoyle blue line. And Andrew, interestingly enough, looks like Conroy's wearing the A on his sweater here tonight. Well deserved for him. Louis Boudon was an alternate captain for the Gladiators, but has since signed in Finland, so looks like that A has been given to Conroy. And it's interesting, 2 D-men for the Gladiators wearing A's, Conroy and Jarvis. Of course, your captain is Cody Sylvester.
Yeah, you know, Louis Boudon heads over to Finland. Lou's a good leader in the room there, good scorer for you. You need to find some leadership and some scoring from some different areas in his absence.
And just makes it even harder to tell Conroy and Jarvis apart. Both with mustaches, about the same stature. One wears 6, one wears 8. And now they both have ace. Well deserved for Conroy as the puck goes out of play on the near side. 14:09 left in the first period. And so we'll get another face-off to the right of Ruslan Khadjizeyev. Face-off won by the Gargoyles. That's something they've done well to start this game. They float it to the neutral zone and whack it down the near side. Missouri sees his dump-in attempt go up the wall thanks to Semptenfelter. Loose now on the near corner. Corabia digs it free. Hammers over to Yoder, the goal and an assist in yesterday's game. Finds Sylvester on the right wing. Sylvester tries to peel back. Greensboro strips it away. Jake Elmer tries to thread his way down the middle, but Gladiators shut that down. Nychuk on the left wing. Puts it to the near circle. Greensboro goes right back the other way, and this time it's Elmer again. Mateer beats him out to it in the near corner. Able to locate Nychuk, and that's been one of the Gladiators' strongest D pairings for both are in town. Mateer solid defensively. Nychuk can play 2 ways. As Atlanta dumps it down and tries to get something going offensively. Just 1 shot on goal through about 7 minutes here in the first period for Atlanta. 3 for the Gargoyles. Khadjizeyev leaves it from behind his net. Gargoyles start their next breakout. Gagnon on the right wing finds an open man in Rinaldi. Make that Newell as players converge in the near corner. Everybody trying to dig that puck out of that area. The Gargoyles do. Pass to the line, escape Sins. He'll have to chase it down all the way back down near Khadjizeyev. Newell on the right wing, shouldered by Jarvis. Newell tries to center, but gets slammed down by Jarvis. Now looks like Lay took offense to that. Jousted with Jarvis a little bit. Now tries to track down a puck on the far boards. Gladiators dig it out of a board battle, thanks to Sylvester. And now they turn up ice themselves. Nolan cross ice looking for Sylvester. Pass escapes him, and it's another icing with 12:10 left in the first.
Yeah, tough break there for the Gladiators. It was a good breakout. Nolan just looking for Sylvester on that stretch pass there. It looks like it went right in between Sylvester's skates and down for an icing.
Not a lot of rhythm to this game so far. It's kind of like listening to a scratch record. At times it sounds great, and other times it has just been a bit sloppy. Neither team really getting into the full swing of things in terms of the way that they want to play. Greensboro behind the net. Rinaldi spinning in the far corner. Checked out the puck by Corabia. Stepping in to help out is Denny Gore. Gore in the corner, able to escape, get it to the line. Shot from there, blocked in front, and high stick is Young. Looking for a penalty, not going to find it. Stay 5-on-5 is Sylvester. Rattles it around the boards to the right wing for Young. Trying to return it to Sylvester, but the Gargoyles able to get in front of that. Good play by Noah Delmas, and the Gargoyles are on the move. Feed it to the right wing. They'll pull up for a chance from Weiss. Stripped away by Conroy. Threads it up ahead to Sylvester. Over the attacking line. Delayed offside. Now they touch it on Atlanta. 11:22 left in the first period. Still scoreless between the Gladiators and the Gargoyles. We are back to Gas South Arena after this. first ever meeting between the Gladiators and the Gargoyles is scoreless with 11:22 left in the first period. 3 shots on goal for Greensboro, 2 for Atlanta. Not a whole lot happening offensively in this game as Greensboro's offside. Richardson gets checked right at the whistle. And it looks like Kumansi's taking a little bit of offense to that. But one thing that is interesting as this game moves on for the Gargoyles is they were without their captain Logan Nelson here today. And Nelson is one of those guys that is top 5 in scoring amongst active skaters in the ECHL entering today's game. And so that is a big loss for the Gargoyles here today with Nelson out of the lineup. And so for a team that has already struggled to score this season, we'll see how they fare. Nychuk has his pocket picked between the circles, but there to make up for that defensively is Matier. Finds Scardina left wing, dangles in front for a shot. Oh, what a stop by Hujazayev. Cross ice feed, not enough. Throws out the cartwheel to make that save.
It was kind of a broken play there that led to Scardina and Francis getting in alone on a 2-on-1. Scardina pulls it to his backhand, slides it over to Francis, who's wide open on the back door, and Hujazayev with just a beautiful glove save, moving from his right to left to rob Ryan Francis.
What a stop there for Ruslan Hujazayev. Keeps it a scoreless game as we approach the midway point of the first period. Gargoyles trying to take their chances up ice. Gladiators force it down the left wing. Here's Francis again from the wall. Loses a hand on the puck, and Greensboro will surge down the right wing. In the corner, Matier able to strip it away from Missouri. Francis finds Burns at the Gladiator blue line. He'll wheel it back to Matier, and Atlanta will look to start its breakout. Pass to the right wing on time for Nychuk. Threads it into Nolan along the wing. Back to Nychuk in the corner. Center's looking for Nolan. That pass broken up by Borshov. And Greensboro back out to center. On the left wing, Gargoyles trying to get something going. Fairmouth centers, intercepted by a pelt. Feeding right wing, pass behind Morgan. Tried to backhand it over the red line, but gets met right there by Patrick Newell. Gladiators forced back deep into their own territory, so Jarvis will knock it off the glass and into Gargoyle ice. And interestingly enough, Andrew, this Gladiators team is very, very well disciplined. They don't take a lot of penalties. We talked about that special teams battle earlier as the Gargoyles look to get a chance in the middle. Gladiators break that up. Haven't seen any penalties so far in this game. Been pretty clean as Morgan from the right circle shoots. Shot is blocked by Kite. And now Greensboro will start its breakout. Game starting to open up a little bit in the transition game. As a centering feed. Drops back to the corner. On the near wall, Gagnon surveys. Feeds it to the left point for a shot by Skelly. That gets blocked. Return to Gagnon. His shot shouldered away by Septenfelter. Skelly feeds it right wing for a shot by Roach. Blocked away. Rebound to Roach again. And his second shot is stopped by Septenfelter. He just gets enough of that puck to make the save. Roche again fires. Septenfelter eats it up. 8:41 to go in the first.
Septenfelter with a couple of huge saves there for the Gladiators. Got pinned in their own end there for a couple minutes.
That's the best either team has looked offensively outside of the chance from Scardina and Francis for the Gladiators. But still scoreless here at Gas South Arena. Gladiators and the Gargoyles, 8:41 left in the first. We're back after this.
This holiday season, you can count on Kroger. You get up high quality and down low prices. Up high quality with our exclusive brands and down low prices on all your holiday needs. Because at Kroger, quality and low prices always come together. Kroger. Fresh for everyone.
Desserts are popping up on Kroger's menu. More than just cookies.
Back to live action here at Gas South Arena. Face on to the left of TJ Septenfelter. Won by the Gladiators, but false start will do it again. Linesman Kyle Gaspari will drop this puck, wearing number 6-7. Face-off move between Gore and O'Brien. Crowd's got a lot of juice to it. So looking for a goal, though. Off the face-off, Denemy scrambles out the center. Tries to weave his way down the left wing wall. Sins defending. Takes it to the corner. Sins out of the pile. Turns it over to O'Brien. Back to Denemy in the corner. Centering feed. Broken up by Sins and company. It'll be spat up to the right point. Matier slams it down to the trapezoid for O'Brien. Centers for Denemy. Sharp angle shot. Held onto by Hadjizeyev. And we get another stoppage with 5:16 left in the first.
Yeah, nice look by O'Brien there behind the net. Puck gets rimmed down to him by Matier. O'Brien picks it up behind the net. Nice little chip pass out to Denemy to the left of the net, one-timer. But again, another nice save by Hadjizeyev. These last couple minutes, guys, this game's been opening up a little bit here. A little more offense each way.
It is a good sight to see. Makes things a little bit more entertaining. And for the Gladiators, 3 shots on goal to the Gargoyles 8. Now, Atlanta got outshot 45-30 last night in Greenville. Ethan Hyder made a career-high 41 saves in that win. As it looks like we are headed to another timeout. Greensboro leads the shot count 8-3. Still scoreless here at Gas South Arena. 5:16 left in the first. Face-off to the right of Hadjizeyev. Off that face-off, it'll go to Denemy from the left wing. Centers in front. Cipollone is there on the doorstep, but Hadjizeyev is able to make the save. As they'll battle for it behind the net. Puck leaks over to the far half wall and is now chucked out to center, where it'll be held onto by Matier. Finds Cipollone at center circle. Tries to come in on the right side. Greensboro stands that up, and so far in this game, it's been a tactical defensive battle, not a lot of offense. Drop pass. Chance is broken up, and upwards goes O'Brien. They'll feather it in on the left side, head off to the bench. Gladiators making a line change as the Sylvester line tries to make its way on. Young on the right wing, bottled up along the boards. Puck leaks between the circles. Carabia tries to handle it, ends up just smacking it down to the Gargoyle defense, and they will rainbow it out to center circle. It's regained there by Nolan. Turns up ice, in on the right side. Nolan centers, Sylvester shoots! Save made at Jayev, and Young couldn't locate the rebound. Yoder at the line, keeps the play alive. Feeds it right wing for Nolan, centers in front, looking for Sylvester. Just escaped the captain. Now Carabia, drifting left, turns towards the net, shoots, it's blocked. Rebound simmered down by the Gargoyles, and upwards goes Elmer. They'll tap it off the end wall. Gladiators get their first. Carabia wheels out to the neutral zone. Puck is stripped away by Missouri. Feeds it right wing for a shot by Elmer. Hits Septenfelter in the mask and ends up carrying out to the blue line, where it's smacked back out to center. Morgan wins a battle at the line. Dirty dangle, can't get a shot away. Is bottled up at the last second by Dalton Skelly, the former Allen American. Gladiators keep it alive. Centering pass for Francis. Knocked off of his stick. Gargoyles check at the length of the ice. No icing. 3:15 left in the first. Andrew Gladiators starting to get some chances of their own here as the period rolls on. Scardina with it deep in his own end, feeling the pressure on the forecheck from Gagnon. Now Morgan rips it across the ice. Right on the move is Orzek. Stuffed at the attacking line again. And so the puck will pinball around a bit. Pass away from Gagnon. And on the near side, Conroy is there to collect. Scardina looking up ice. Feeds it left wing for Francis. Darting down the left wing. Stripped of it nicely there by Borshov. Now it's Greensboro's turn. Left wing streaking in. Backhand chance. Septenfelter gets just enough. Newell with the chance. Septenfelter the save. And he was a little slow to get up after making that stop, but he is back up to his feet. Good sight to see. Nychuk from the left wing looks up. Finds Patir at his own blue line. Plays it back a little bit. Finds Nychuk on the left side. And now he will toss it down the left wing off the end wall. Streaking in is Cipolone. Able to swat it over to O'Brien. Couldn't quite hang on to it. And now here come the Gargoyles again. Rinaldi to the right wing. Centering feed. Return pass. The left toe of Septenfelter. Keeps it out. This game has really opened up a bit as Delmas feeds it left wing. Roche fires wide left of Septenfelter. Rebound up to the right point. Return to Roche. Center point taken away. Denemy with the takeaway. On the right wing. Delays. Denemy pulls up. Centers. Chance in front for Cepolone. Is gobbled up by Hedgesayev.
Couple great opportunities each way, but Hedgesayev and Septenfelter standing tall in their nets to keep this game tied right now.
This game has really been spun on its head in a complete 180. For those of you who've been watching our broadcast, listening throughout the course of the season, the start looked very similar to what you'd see between the Gladiators and the Stingrays. Very tight-knit defensive battle, and all of a sudden it blew wide open. And it's become very reminiscent of what we saw last night in Greenville. A lot of speed, transition game taking effect. Here are the Gladiators on the right wing. Centering. Sylvester can't quite reel it in. Gargoyles turn up ice, developing 4-on-2. From the left wing, they shoot, but they're offside. Thinking that shot was Borshov. Whistle blows the play dead with 1:12 left in the first.
Yeah, it was a good play by Jarvis there, defending that 3-on-2. Forcing his man to slow up a little bit, forcing that offsides.
Coming up next at the end of the first period, we'll be joined by Andrew and Shelby for the first intermission report. Recap the first period, look ahead to the second, checking our YouTube live chat, and a whole lot more on the first intermission report. Things getting physical. Carabia takes down a Gargoyle in the near corner. Meanwhile, Murphy looks to center, hits the skate of Jarvis, takes a shot himself from the far wing. Septenfelter able to reject that. Now shot from the left circle. Blocked in front. Puck pinballs to the far corner. Murphy can't hang on to it. Jarvis behind the net. Gets a lay of the land. Gladiators make a line change. On comes Conroy. 30 seconds left in the first. Conroy flying down the left wing. Swats it to the trapezoid. They'll cycle it up top. Orzek looking, holding, gets to the left circle and shoots. Low shot, stopped by Hedgesayev. Greensboro, clears out to center. Errant pass goes back to the Gladiators defenseman, and that should just about do it for the first period. No score after one in the first meeting between these two. Gargoyles lead the shot count 12-5 after one. Gladiators scored 7 last night in Greenville, 3 in the first period in that contest, but held scoreless here in the first at Gas South Arena. And we'll talk all about it on the other side of the break. Andrew and Shelby will take it away for the first intermission report. And once again, your score, Atlanta 0, Greensboro 0. We are back to the Gladiators Broadcast Network right after this.
This holiday season, you can count on Kroger. You get up high quality and down low prices. Up high quality with our exclusive brands and down low prices on all your holiday needs. Because at Kroger, quality and low prices always come together. Kroger. fresh for everyone.
Desserts are popping up on Colonel's menu. All types of dessert.
More than just cookies. The lineup changing weekly.
Desserts now in rotation.
All right, everyone, welcome back to Gas South Arena. I'm here with Andrew. We're going to be breaking down everything that happened in that first period, and it is scoreless after that first period. The Greensboro Gargoyles, if you say that 3 times fast, I promise you can't do it. It's very, very hard. They have 12 shots on goal, and the Atlanta Gladiators have 5 shots on goal. Now, I want to wish you all a happy new year. I hope you all had a safe and fun time ringing in that new year. I know the Atlanta Gladiators had a great start off to the year, playing in Greenville last night against the Swamp Rabbits, winning that game 7-4. And they also started 2 new players to the roster. We have forward Jack O'Brien and defenseman Nolan Orchak. They both got 2 goals. They both got 1 goal, and Nolan got 1 assist in their very first game as Atlanta Gladiators. So what a great start to 2026 for the Gladiators. Now we're just getting our game started here in Duluth. So let's talk about that first period, shall we?
Let's do it.
What were you seeing during that first period? I know we are scoreless here in Duluth, but what are some things that you thought was positive for this first period of play?
Yeah, so me and Guy touched on a little bit in the pregame show. You know, that those first 5 to 10 minutes of the game, we thought it was going to be a little slower, a little touch and go, because obviously, first meeting ever between these 2 clubs. They've never seen each other before. You can only learn so much when reviewing video of other teams. You know, you got to really get on the ice against a team to figure out how they really play. So those first 5-10 minutes, as we predicted, a little bit slower, feeling out process there between the teams. But then it felt like we hit the 10-minute mark and the game just exploded. There were chances each end, each way, and it was a very entertaining last 10 minutes of that first period. You know, obviously, if you're the Gladiators, you want to tighten that up a little bit. Gave up a couple too many opportunities and close on their goal, so want to tighten that up a little bit. That was one of the keys to the game, you know, tighten it up a little bit defensively, a little better details in our own zone. But, you know, started a little slow, but a very entertaining first period for both teams.
And I have a few questions for you to start this off. Now, I know that we have lost 2 players on that first line. Louis Boudon is now on a deal in Finland, and Isaac Walter is currently loaned to the Milwaukee Admirals. So what are you seeing from that new first line?
Yeah, you know, you gotta feel a little bad for Cody Sylvester. You know, he was playing on that line with Louis Boudon and Isaac Walter, and that line was clicking as we headed into the end of 2025. But, you know, coming here tonight, Boudon obviously heads over to Finland, and Isaac Walter out playing with the Milwaukee Admirals. Sylvester still on that first line, but now he's playing with Alex Young and Ryan Nolan. 2 guys who've been on this team all year, not new additions or anything. They've all been in the room together. But, you know, it's going to take a little bit, and we said this when the Boudon, Sylvester, Walter line was put together. It's going to take a little bit of time for them gain some chemistry, kind of click as a line. So it'll be interesting to see what this line can do together.
Yeah, I also have written down here that Alex Young is currently tied with Chad Nychuk for the most points so far this season. Do you think that is going to make an impact on this first line?
Yeah, you know, it's just... It's different but dependent who you're playing with. I think Young is somewhat similar to Louis Boudon, obviously Sylvester's old center. Boudon left-handed, Young right-handed, which for Sylvester, who's a left-handed left winger, playing with a righty might be a little bit easier for him. Young, a center righty, it's a little easier for him to make that pass to Sylvester on his left. So, you know, a little nitpicky thing, but it could theoretically open up their game a little bit there. So, you know, it's going to take some time for this line to click, but I'm excited to see what they can do.
Yeah, I'm excited to see how things start going for this 2026 part of the season. I have another question for you about our new players to the roster. Forward Jack O'Brien, he's playing as number 19, and then defenseman Nolan Orchak, number 9. What are you seeing so far in this first period from the two of them?
Yeah, so obviously Orzek and, O'Brien, both coming over in that trade from Iowa that sent Anthony Furiolo and Jack Robilotti over to Iowa. So obviously, with the Gladiators losing both Boudon and Walter, they were down a forward. So you go out, you trade two defensemen, which they have a surplus of now that they have Caravia back healthy in the lineup. And you got McNamee, obviously a forward who's down with injury right now. So you go out, you get a forward and another defenseman, and I really like the way that what I've seen from both of them so far in this first period, specifically Orzek. You know, you get traded for a defenseman like Furiolo, and I feel like Orzek is kind of a similar player. He's just kind of obviously Furiolo, left-handed defenseman. We have a surplus of lefties. Bring in Orzek, who's a righty. Kind of a right-handed Anthony Furiolo. I really like the way I've seen Orzek jump up in the play as a defenseman, you know, pushing that offense a little bit from the back end, as Anthony Furiolo seemed to do. And when it comes to O'Brien, big left-handed center, I really like what I've seen from him last night. Obviously, he scored last night, both him and Orzek. But O'Brien, another big body center, scoring a goal right in the goal mouth. That's where you want to see goals scored. He goes to the net, gets a little dirty down in the crease, puts one in the back of the net last night in Greenville. So I like what I've seen from both of those guys so far, and that trade is paying immediate dividends for the Gladiators.
Yeah, I read online what Guy had put on our website that O'Brien was a leader in points in Iowa. So hopefully we can see some of that here in Atlanta with our players as he transitions into this team. But I want to point out that tonight is Star Wars night.
Yes, it
and
is.
I have a question for the chat. And that is, what is your favorite Star Wars movie? So we will get into that when we come back. And we're also going to be talking about what we want to see in the second period. But again, we are here in Duluth, scoreless after that first period of play. See, I'm going to mess it up every time. It's a tongue twister. Greensboro Gargoyles with 12 shots on goal. Atlanta Gladiators, 5 shots on goal. And we will see you when we come back.
This holiday season, you can count on Kroger. You get up high quality and down low prices. Up high quality with our exclusive brands and down low prices on all your holiday needs. Because at Kroger, quality and low prices always come together. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Welcome back to Gas South Arena. I'm here with Andrew, and as of right now, it is scoreless after our first period. Greensboro Gargoyles with 12 shots on goal, Atlanta Gladiators with 5 shots on goal. Now, before we talk about what we want to see in that second period, I want to ask you all a question. It is Star Wars night here in Duluth. The stands are packed. It looks so fun. I would love to be a part of that crowd. Now, Andrew and everyone in the YouTube chat, please let us know what your favorite Star Wars movie is. Andrew, I'm going to let you think about it.
Okay.
I know there's a lot. I'm going to disappoint people with my answer, and you'll see why. But first, let me hear what you want to see in this upcoming period.
Yeah, so I talked about it before the break. Towards the end of that first period, it seemed to really open up for both teams, generating offensive chances both ways. In the second period, you'd like to see the Gladiators tighten up a little bit defensively, but keep on forcing that agenda, trying to generate some offensive zone time here. But you know, it's kind of tough. Kind of touched on a little bit during the period. They're dressing 11 forwards and 7 defensemen. Normally, the normal number is 12 forwards and 6 defensemen, but obviously, Gladiators as we've said many times, just lost Louis Lupone. Isaac Walter moving up to Milwaukee. Mike McNamee on IR right now. They only have 11 forwards on the roster.
Do you think that will affect their game if it continues to have those only 11 forwards?
Yeah,
in the lineup?
I think it'll be interesting to see once we get to the third period, because, get to the third period, that's when the legs get a little bit tired. You got to dig in a little bit deeper in the third period. Only having 11 forwards, it will be interesting, and it'll be also interesting to see how the lines kind of generate chemistry between each other, because you're kind of shuffling them a little bit all over. You're not playing with the same guy every single shift, so it'll be interesting to see from a chemistry standpoint when you're rolling out 11 forwards there.
Yeah, and again, like you said, majority of the period we were playing defensively, and it opened up towards the last 10 minutes of the game more offensively, and I would love to see more offense and more of a good forecheck when it comes to that second period. So let's talk about Star Wars.
All right.
Do you want to let me know your answer, or do you want me to go first?
I'll go first. That's
Okay.
fine. I was growing up huge Star Wars fan as a kid. Obviously, I'm only 22, so I grew up with the prequel trilogy. So my favorite Star Wars movie, I'm going with Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith.
All right.
I feel like that's a pretty popular answer if you're going with the prequels. Obviously, the original series, Empire Strikes Back, New Hope, Return of the Jedi, those movies are untouchable. But, growing up with the prequel trilogy, I gotta go Revenge of the Sith.
Okay, and I'm not proud of this, as my family has made it very known to me. I have never seen one Star Wars movie. And I know that's a big no-no, and from a lot of people, I feel like there's always an audible gasp when I say that out loud. I'm trying to do better, new year, new me. So unfortunately, I can't answer what my favorite Star Wars movie is. So I'm going to ask you another question.
Okay.
Who's your favorite character? I know some characters.
My favorite character, it's kind of cliche. I'm going Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Okay.
Guy opened up the broadcast tonight with a "Hello there," famous Obi-Wan Ben Kenobi line from the movies.
You see me nodding my head, pretending I know what you're talking about.
But just a good Jedi.
Okay.
Trained Anakin Skywalker, who obviously eventually becomes Darth Vader.
Yes, I know Anakin.
Okay.
Yeah.
You could just say him.
I shouldn't say he's my favorite.
Well, I mean,
because I know what happens.
Starts good.
Yeah.
And then it kind of goes downhill for Anakin. Let's see what we got in the chat.
Yeah, let's see your answers.
Let's see. Stadium Arena going with Chancellor Palpatine and Princess Leia.
I know Princess Leia.
Okay, so Chancellor Palpatine in the original. Well, actually,
you're gonna break down the hockey game for me, and you're gonna break down Star Wars.
I mean, Chancellor Palpatine, he's like the big bad of the whole thing.
Okay.
He kind of turns.
I thought it was Darth Vader.
Well, he turns Anakin Skywalker into Darth Vader.
I'm learning so much.
He's kind of like his mentor.
Okay.
He's kind of like his coach. If we're making a little hockey analogy here.
Okay.
And let's see. Stadium Arena going with a New Hope. That's Episode 4. Obviously, the first Star Wars movie ever.
That's okay. I was gonna say because there's the new ones that came out
Yeah, we don't talk about those ones.
That's what I've heard.
Yeah.
Okay, heard.
We don't talk about the new trilogy.
Yeah. Okay.
But New Hope obviously starts everything when it comes to Star Wars. Very good choice there by Stadium Arena. It's just a perfect answer. You get introduced to all these characters: Luke Skywalker, Han Solo, Princess Leia, R2-D2, C-3PO, Chewbacca. I can go on and on.
Yeah, I know Chewbacca.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know the Ewoks.
Okay, so that's Return of the Jedi. That's Episode 6.
Which one should I start with?
You know what? That's a really good question.
Let me know.
You can start with the prequels and go Episode 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But obviously that's not chronological order in the way they came out. Because obviously
my brain is like.
So the way the movies came out, they started with 4, 5, 6.
Okay.
I believe that was 70s, 80s. I'm sorry, that's way before my time. But then they came back and I believe episode 1 came out 1999, Attack of the Clones.
Okay.
2000.
I did have a conversation with my dad over Christmas. I said, "Did you go to the theater when this came out?" And he said, "Yes."
Yeah.
So that's cool.
Yeah, I grew up, my dad, huge Star Wars fan, so that's kind of what got me into it. But, you know, it's just a great series of movies.
Yeah,
if you haven't seen Star Wars, Shelby, obviously you included,
I need
go
to
watch
watch
Star
this.
Wars.
Yeah, and I mean, it looks like I'm not bidding on a specialty jersey tonight, but if you want to, I think you should. That is after the game. Again, it is scoreless here in Duluth, and we will be back after this break. Guy back to do the play-by-play along with Andrew here in Gas South Arena.
Desserts are popping up on crumbles, man. All types of desserts.
More than just cookies. The lineup changing weekly.
Desserts now in rotation.
We are back for the start of the second period. Atlanta and the Rebel Alliance taking on Greensboro and the Empire here on Star Wars Night at Gas South Arena. Andrew, you and Shelby had some good Star Wars references there in the first period. Came in clutch there, and now I know which order to rewatch the Star Wars movies.
Which order are you going to do?
Well, I don't know if it's about the order. I'm going to do exactly what you said, but I think my favorite one is still Return of the Jedi. That one's got to be my favorite for me. A lot of fun here at Gas South Arena, but no goals yet. And it kind of feels like, Andrew, these fans are kind of sitting on their heels a little bit. They're looking for something to cheer for. We'll see if the Gladiators can get off to a good start here in the second period. And for Atlanta, scoreless first periods, nothing new for them this season. It has become quite a bit of a recurring theme, but when it comes to exploding in the second period and getting some goals in the third, that is big when the Gladiators are at their best. Atlanta, 24 goals, 4 in the second period to their opposition's 22. But in the third period, Andrew, they look a little bit ahead. 31 goals for the Gladiators. That is their best scoring period to 19 goals against. That plus 12 goal differential is their best out of any period this season. So the Gladiators are due for what I've called the second period surge. We'll see if they can get that going here today against Greensboro after a scoreless first period.
Yeah, you know, obviously coming into the second period, Gladiators down in shots, 12-5 right now to Greensboro. Like to see them get some more pucks on net here.
Puck is dropped, second period underway. Greensboro will slash it down into Gladiator territory and try and get something going here as both teams are still in search of the first goal of the night. Clean first period, no goals, no penalties, just pure hockey as these two teams joust for the first time ever. Sins, the defenseman for Greensboro, tries to knock it down the right wing. Lay has some trouble escaping out of his own end of the ice. Gladiators doing a nice job forechecking. Here's a steal for O'Brien behind the net. Swerves to his forehand. O'Brien turning, shooting just sky high. Hits a man in front and goes out of play. 37 seconds into the second period.
Good opening shift there for the Gladiators. Getting some good offensive zone time there. Putting a puck on net. Good start to the second period, these first 37 seconds.
I really like that forecheck there, Andrew, from Jack O'Brien. I really just being a menace there in that near corner, just ripping the puck away and setting up something. And I think the hesitation kind of speaks for itself. Didn't try and force a pass anywhere, just hung on to it himself. Ends up rattling it off a body and out of play. Face off on the near circle. The Alex Young line out there with Sylvester and Nolan. Greensboro wins that face-off. They surge down the right wing. Weiss and company trying to get something started. Puck comes to Sentenfelter. He snags it. And we're still in the first minute of the second period.
Yeah, going back to what you were saying about O'Brien there, Guy, I think him and Orsak have been really good for the Gladiators.
Yes.
Obviously, both scoring last night. This trade paying immediate dividends for the Gladiators. I think both of them have been great so far.
Both O'Brien and Orzek making their home debuts. O'Brien had a goal and assist in yesterday's game, his first multi-point game of the season. This is 27th game of the year as Greensboro tries to thread it across. Weiss couldn't shoot it. Now at the right point, Delmas gives it back to Weiss, the former Stingray. He'll slide it to the trapezoid. Gargoyles able to weasel up the near wall to the line. Rinaldi finds Weiss. Puck deflected in front, and the rebound put just wide in front of the cage by Gore. Gargoyles getting some good sustained offensive zone time. Here's Weiss again from the left corner. Sliding it to the right. Waiting there is Kite. Drops it down to the corner. Takes it back in at the point. Sidestep Sylvester. Centers for a quick pass to the outside. Gladiators keeping things to the perimeter. Weiss across to the left wing. Delmas fires. Glove save. Sentenfelter. The rebound is available. And Greensboro still got it. Delmas cross ice for Weiss. Shot is blocked by Mateer. Clears it to the wall and the line, but not out. Second shot is blocked again by Mateer, and now he is able to get it to the near wall and still not out. Mateer with it again. This time jams it up the glass, and now finally they are able to clear, and Atlanta is able to get a change. But interesting thing there, Andrew, for that Gargoyles setup there. I think they tried to pass it to the right wing, and Weiss actually intercepts the pass that was intended for the wall. Maybe shuts things down a bit for the Gargoyles and a bit of a miscommunication.
Yeah, it definitely looked like a little bit of miscommunication there for the Gargoyles, but they did a really good job of clogging that blue line and not allowing the Gladiator to get out of the zone cleanly.
More chances for Greensboro. Back on the attack. Behind the net, Richardson stuffs it in front. Goes through the slot and out the other side. Shot from the line by Kumansis. Blocked in front. The rebound just put wide. Right in front of the cage was Roach. Battle forward on the far wall. Gladiators dig it free. Scardina moving right. Angles it off the near glass and out to center. Roche locates Skelly. Gargoyles in on the right wing as Richardson pounds it to the near side. Bodies bundled together there. Left point shot by Borshov. Dumped around out of the pile. Come the Gargoyles. From the right wing, they go across. One-timer Sins, snagged by Sentenfelter. Squeezes it with 16:42 left in the second.
What a great save by Sentenfelter there. Read that play all the way from the right point, coming all the way across the zone, just to the left side. Sentenfelter sliding left to right, making a great save on that one-timer there from Sins.
And this has been a bit of a sleepy start to the second period for the Gladiators. Greensboro definitely been the better team so far here in period two. Face-off on the near circle, won by the Gargoyles. Borshov, drop pass, Elmer shoots. Sentenfelter's got it. Don't know how he saw that one. Was definitely screened in front. 3 minutes, 25 seconds gone by in the second, and he hangs on.
Yeah, that O'Brien line came out with a good first shift for the Gladiators, but since then, it's been all Gargoyles holding the Gladiators in their zone right now.
Face-off now on the far wing. Won by Greensboro again. From the line, they shoot blocked in front. That's become a common theme here in the second period. Long-range shots hitting traffic in front of Sentenfelter as the net behind him comes off. And so we get a whistle. 16:25 on the game clock.
Yeah, it's the second time that Sentenfelter's nets come off. Early in the second period, came off first time on that save that he had on Zins, and just now.
So earlier we talked about the Gladiators getting better in terms of scoring as the game goes on. For Greensboro, that is the case, but they really have struggled to score this season. Just 21 goals for in the second period, which is their best scoring period this year. But the glaring issue for them is they seem to give up more and more goals as the game goes on. 24 goals against in the second period. And so for Greensboro, they will look to get first goal of the game here and take a lead. And so far, so good for them. A lot of sustained offensive zone time for Greensboro. Atlanta trying to exit on the near wing. Boomerangs back to Conroy. Flings it left wing and outwards they go. Cross-ice feed looking for Morgan down the middle. Ends up making his way to the end wall. Morgan takes a spill, courtesy of Sins. The defenseman for Greensboro able to peel away from the product of SUNY Geneseo. And a big hit is thrown by a pelt on Missouri right at the Greensboro blue line. And those two jousting a bit. Appelt will go to the bench. We'll keep an eye on that as the night goes on. Appelt did fight last night against Big John Parker Jones. What a fight that was. 15:33 left in the second. Carabia feeds it left wing for Conroy. Tries to outlet to a man on the move on the left wing. That was O'Brien. Gladiators dump it in. They're offside. 15:19 left in the second. Actually, I do believe that was an icing.
I think they're going to call it intentional offsides. The play's going to come all the way back down. Or the face-off's going to come all the way back down to the Gladiators.
Interesting. I don't think I've seen that one before.
It was a tough play at the blue line there. I believe O'Brien was just caught offside, then Cepelone was offside, and then the Gladiators went in and still tried to play the puck with no attempt to clear.
Good insight, Andrew. Face off to the right of Septenfelter. Comes all the way back down to Gladiator ice because of that sequence. So Jarvis will try to escape. Pounds it up the ice. Back out to center. Handled there by Patrick Kite. Greensboro slots it down to the trapezoid. Septenfelter out to play it. Softly touches it to Denemy in the far corner. Gargoyles wrestle it away. Move it from low to high, and now back from high to low. Jarvis from the far corner, jolts it out to center. On the move is Denemy. Rips it into attacking territory. Off the corner, they score! Oh, what a play! O'Brien on red alert. Smacks it into the back of the net. Atlanta strikes first.
It's a great intentional dump in there by Carson Denemy. Dumping it in on the far side where he knows O'Brien can get it. And O'Brien just kind of takes a whack at that on the backhand. It goes right over the glove of Hedgesayev.
Jack O'Brien and the Atlanta Gladiators have the high ground. They have the lead for the first time tonight. Just a backhand smack, and it looked like Hedgesayev thought about playing that puck, tried to punch it out of the harm's way, but kind of just filtered its way to no man's land off the dump in from Denemy. And O'Brien just takes a swing at it. Ends up tickling the twine. Atlanta with the lead. Here's Francis on the right wing. Shot flubbed off of his stick. Gladiators have come alive. Mateer at the right point, scans, shoots off the end wall. Angle to Scardina on the far wing. Gets it to the line for a chance for Nychuk. Ends up going wide. Burns behind the cage. Locates Francis. And they cycle back up top. Mateer drops it around to the left wing. Nychuk leaves it for Francis. Stationed at the left point, spins like a turnstile to drive it down deeper. Burns is there in the far corner, able to escape Skelly. Pass to the line. Mateer on the right side, puts it towards the net, hits the stick of Francis, and plops down on the left wing. Burns centers for Scardina, spinning, puck rolls off his stick, and the Gargoyles will emerge to center. What a great first shift after the goal. Scardina on the right side, Kodrak's shot, just high and wide of Hedgesayev. Atlanta fighting on the forecheck, trying to keep this play alive. And for the moment, they do. Greensboro able to cycle away to the near wing and back out to center. So Jack O'Brien with his second goal in his second game with the Gladiators. Now up to 13 goals on the season, 11 assists. Carson Denemy was the one who dumped that puck in, got the lucky bounce off the corner wall. He set up that swipe from O'Brien, and Andrew Jarvis picks up point number 3 on the season with the secondary assist. Face off on the near circle of the Greensboro zone. Gargoyles win it. And now the Gargoyles having trouble here. They're playing against the Gladiators, but they're also playing against the crowd. This crowd has really come to life here after the goal. Puck between the circles. Nolan can't get a shot away. Held it at the line. Conroy feeds it left wing. Waiting there is Nolan for a snapshot that goes into the gullet of Hedgesayev. And he will freeze with 13:12 left in the second. This is the Gladiators Broadcast Network. Atlanta has struck first. Jack O'Brien and the Rebel Alliance are up by 1.
This holiday season, you can count on Kroger. You get up high quality and down low prices. Up high quality with our exclusive brands, and down low prices on all your holiday needs. Because at Kroger, quality and low prices always come together. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Gladiators with a 1-0 lead. Thanks to Jack O'Brien's second goal as a Gladiator. Had one last night, has one here today. Assists on that goal go to Carson Denemy and Andrew Jarvis. Face off to the right of Ajazeev. Ends up going the Gargoyles' way. Zins with the behind the net. Just to slide it out of his own zone. Sylvester flags it down. Tried to thread it to Young, but Gargoyles get back into position in time and try and stretch it up the right wing for Zins on a breakout, but Gladiators toss it to the left wing wall. A shot from there by Kumatsis is blocked by Young. Puck trickles out to center. Gargoyles regain possession. Zins. Right wing on time for a blast in by Murphy. They'll reverse it back to the far wing. Murphy tries to cut to the inside. Gargoyles held on the wall. Centering feed, sticked away by Semptimphelter. Now on the left wing. They'll cut towards the net. Try and play it up top. High slot. Pass goes astray. It was intended for Murphy. Ends up going back down to Greensboro ice. 12-11 left in the second period. Atlanta leads 1-0. In on the right side. Delmas around the horn to the line. Kite there. Cross ice feed. On time for a shot that's blocked. Rebounded Delmas. He'll take one of his own into the glove of Semptimphelter. Thought about playing it, but decided against it. Freezes with 11:55 left in the second.
TJ Semptimphelter trying to keep the play moving here. They're trying to quickly play that one. But I want to go back to that O'Brien goal just for a second here, Guy. Carson Denemy coming through the neutral zone with it. Really doesn't have anything going for him. Makes the smart play. He knows he's got O'Brien charging that far side and just lays the puck out where he knows O'Brien can get it, and it ends up in the back of the net. Just a great smart play by Denemy.
Carson Denemy now with a goal and an assist on the weekend. Big weekend for 18. They've been held off the score sheet for a couple of weeks, and all of a sudden, it's a big, big week. Gladiators win last night in Greenville. Now on 1-0 here today against Greensboro as Semptimphelter makes another glove save. Stop the clock with 11:37 left in the middle frame.
Yeah, we said it earlier in this period. This trade just keeps on paying dividends for the Gladiators. O'Brien scoring right after we said that.
I think that's one of the trades where the Gladiators, I mean, let's think about it. At that point in time, they had 9 defensemen. A couple of those guys weren't playing. Ended up swapping them out for some guys that can make an impact, and that's exactly what's happened as traffic in front of Semptimphelter sprawls out, makes the save. Another stoppage with 11:27 left in the period. But it is one of those trades where, both teams get what they want, what they need. Gladiators needed a forward, wanted to get that right shot defenseman, and as you mentioned with Shelby during the intermission report, Orszak kind of plays like a right-handed Anthony Furiolo. And we've seen that over the last couple of games where, it's not just Nychuk supplying the puck movement from the back end, getting points here and there. Now you've got Orszak, a guy that can do that as well, and it gives the Gladiators so much more depth. And think about the loss of Louis Boudon, Isaac Walter. You get O'Brien, who has slid right into the lineup and made an instant impact. Lot to love about that trade. Face-off on the far circle of Atlanta's zone, won by the Gladiators. Sip alone, twisted to the neutral zone. O'Brien will try and beat out the icing, but he's a few steps behind. Winning that race was Borshov, and so back down we go near Semptimphelter. And we've talked about it a lot this season, Andrew, where it really seems like for the Gladiators, their excellence starts between the pipes, kind of just radiates from there.
Yep.
Great defensive play, great goaltending, and then the offense kind of just flows as a byproduct of that. Let's make this team so difficult to beat. Only 6 teams have beaten them, or they've only been beaten 6 times this season. And Cipollone on the right wing gets bottled up along the wall by Sins. Greensboro jolts it down the length of the ice, comes in on Felter, and he'll put a paw on it again. So stop and go action here in the second. Much like Atlanta traffic, 10:58 to go in the middle frame.
Yeah, you know, as you were just saying, Guy, a lot of great teams, they're built from the back up. You know, it's hard to win in any league if you don't have good goaltending. If you have leaky goaltending, I don't care how well you play offensively or defensively, you don't want every game to be a shootout back and forth, you know. So if you start building with strong goaltending as the Gladiators have, you're going to have a good chance to win every night, as we've seen with this Gladiators team this season.
Face off to the right of Felter. And off that draw, Greensboro tries to control, but Atlanta does a nice job of mopping that up. Yoder behind the goal line, tries to find Jarvis. He's able to lift it to the near corner. Denemy meets it there. Greensboro being very aggressive here, trying to strip that puck away. Denemy doing a nice job of hanging on so far. Now Cipollone will dig it free. And the Gladiators are on the move. Over the red line is O'Brien. With the goal here today, tries to walk down the middle, feeds it right side for Cipollone, centering pass, sticked away, rebound for a shot, blocked in front, rebound, Denemy can't grab it, make that O'Brien, and the Gargoyles will clear. Interesting sequence there as O'Brien kind of just bulldozed his way into the attacking zone to set up that sequence. Here is Scardina flying down the right wing. He'll go around the net, staying on his forehand, plays it to the line. Nychuk drifting right, stops, fires left, and hits a stick on its way and goes on to play behind Hadjizeyev. Clock stops with 9:56 left in the second period, and the Gladiators with a 1-0 lead. We are back to Gas South Arena after this.
Desserts are popping up on crumbles, man.
More than just cookies. The lineup changing weekly.
Desserts now in rotation.
Gladiators lead 1-0 as we are officially 4 seconds over the midway point of regulation. 9:56 left in the second period. Gladiators win an offensive zone face-off. Francis from low to high for a shot by Matir into the glove of Ruslan Hadjizeyev, and he will stop time with 9:50 to go.
Good idea by Matir there, that look from the point there. Had a couple bodies in front. Gladiators right now only 8 shots on goal with the 1-0 lead. Still would like to continue getting pucks on net here.
Near circle face-off, one up to Matir. Slams it around the boards to the trapezoid for Francis. Reverses up the near side, centers for a shot by Scardina. That gets blocked, and he scores on the second opportunity! Ethan Scardina would not be denied. Atlanta doubles its lead to 2-0.
Just a bit of a seeing eye shot there by Scardina. Grabs that one out of the pile there and just flips it high glove. Gladiators double their lead.
That was a nice setup there by Ryan Francis from below the goal line. Finds Scardina between the circles and takes the first shot. That gets blocked. That's fine. Able to escape, put a second one on goal, and ends up hitting the back of it. Good perseverance there from 37 and White. Gladiators by 2.
You know, you got to think that first shot might have messed with Hedgesayev there. As
Yeah, I agree.
He was already went down, and then Scardina able to get it up over his glove.
Greensboro the other way. Sends a shot blocked away by Septenfelter. Second opportunity punched away by the netminder as well. And the Gladiators get out to center. And this crowd is loving every moment of it. Sylvester quickly on the run. Nolan couldn't sidestep the defender and sins. Now Greensboro goes up ice. Murphy, left wing, the former Steelhead. Tries to center for a snapshot. And Septenfelter's got it. Borshov with the chance, and Septenfelter flashes the leather.
Septenfelter using the force there to make that save with his glove.
For those of you at home, see if you can keep track of how many Star Wars references we've made. I know we're keeping track here in the booth. Having a fun night here on Star Wars Night. Gladiators wearing their Star Wars themed specialty jerseys. Those will be auctioned off on the concourse after the game. First ever meeting between the Gladiators and the Gargoyles. Win the defensive zone face-off. Conroy out to center, slots it down the left wing. Appelt wires it around to the right side where Orzek comes streaking in. Tries to hem it into the Gargoyle zone. Ends up being spat out by Greensboro, and so they do get it back. Kite flies around the right wing. Gladiators cut in front of it. Orzek to Conroy through the neutral zone. Home run pass to Scardina. Slowed down on the right wing and sent to the corner. Gladiators try and dig it free. Appelt emerges, but the Gargoyles slam it back into the boards, where it's handled by Morgan. Shot in front, sticked away. Scardina behind the net. Whacks it up to the line. Conroy there, fires. Shot is blocked by Missouri. Conroy's got it back on the rebound. Goes cross ice, on time for Yoder. Shot gets deflected in front, and the Gargoyles will handle. Skelly off the end wall. And as Elmer on the right wing, now goes right down the middle to Roche. They'll bang it around to the far wall. Puck leaps into the air, simmered down by Carabia. Smacked out to center. Zins will chase it, and that'll be an icing on Atlanta with 7:30 left in the second.
Don't love that icing there. Feel like Zins probably could have gotten to that. Milked it a little bit to get that icing, but face-off coming back into the Gladiator zone.
And so Yoder, Carabia, Cipollone, Denemy, and O'Brien forced to stay on here. Cipollone will take this face-off, and Cipollone playing as the right wing on that line, but we have seen him play center for much of the season. So he can be tasked with face-offs. Greensboro wins that one, puts 3 shots on goal. Septenfelter swipes away all of them. Now at the line, long shot goes wide of the netminder. Left side one, turned away by the blocker. Shot count now 22-10 in favor of the Gargoyles. Pass from low to high, makes its way to the right point. Slided across, back to the top of the right circle. Handled by Lay. Cipollone in the area. Forces him to drive it into the far corner. Couple of hits thrown. O'Brien able to knock it to his defense. And Atlanta will look to start its next breakout. Up by 2. Yoder drives it to the neutral zone. Off the stick, Cipollone will chase to the near corner. Bodies come together there. Out of the pile up is Denny Gore. Pounds it to the neutral zone. Sidestep for Gagnon. Can't get over the attacking line. Drops it back in tight. Snap shot. Stopped by Septenfelter. Rebound available. The trailer shoots and fires wide. Rinaldi had a wide open net, and he just shanked it. 6:19 left in the second period. Greensboro did something that most teams can't do. They had Septenfelter down and out. Net wide open. And they fire wide. You know Rinaldi's going to want that one back.
Did Filter get a piece of that?
He might have. He may. We're going to get a look at the
that's
rebound
just
here.
Absolutely insane.
In-house. We're going to look at you on Hockey TV, Will, as well. And... Oh, I don't know.
Can't really tell.
Not sure. We're quite a ways away from the video board, so it's really tough to see. But if he did, sensational save. But nonetheless, big missed opportunity for Rinaldi and the Gargoyles. I think if anything, Andrew, it might have hit a defenseman's stick in front on its way. Just with the way that Semptimphelter's hands were down. I'm not sure if he got a chunk of it, but either way, Atlanta comes away unscathed. Francis, on the right wing wall, has material at the line. He'll survey, dig a bit deeper down to the corner. Take a check there, but stands on his feet. He's a big guy. Tough to take down. Jack Mateer working with Francis there. The puck is swindled away by Weiss. Feeds it right wing. Rinaldi back up ice. Tries to drop it back to Weiss. Burns gets in front of it. Jolts it to the right wing, and Francis, all alone, is able to beat out the icing. Spinning on his backhand. Flips it cross ice for Jarvis. Along the wall. Met there by a Gargoyle. Young overskates the puck, and Greensboro has control. 5:25 left in the second period. Gladiators lead 2-0. Greensboro drives the puck in, gets a line change in as well. Weiss battling in the left corner. Tries to center. Broken up by Jarvis. Rebound available. Gargoyles. Richardson has a trailer for a shot. Semptimphelter the save. Rebound loose. Oh, and it just hits a defender and goes away from the nets. It's like there's a force field behind TJ Semptimphelter. Skelly from the left circle shoots, blocker save Semptimphelter, and he has the rebound with 4:48 left in the second. The force is certainly with TJ Semptimphelter. As you said earlier, Andrew, Gladiators lead 2-0 with 4:48 left in the second period. We come back to Gas South Arena after this.
This holiday season, you can count on Kroger. You get up high quality and down low prices. Up high quality with our exclusive brands and down low prices on all your holiday needs. Because at Kroger, quality and low prices always come together. Kroger. Fresh for everyone.
Gargoyles have had some chances here in the second period, but unable to convert. And that is the story so far. Atlanta, on its chances, have scored twice. Gladiators lead 2-0 off of goals from O'Brien and Scardina. Greensboro, who has struggled to score this season, lowest scoring team on average this season at just over 2 goals, 4 per game, have been held scoreless here with 4:45 left in the second. But they are pressuring. At the left point, Skelly takes it in. Feeds it across. Out to the left circle, back to Skelly. Drive is blocked. Held in at the right point by Roche. And his pass goes off the stick and out of play with 4:29 on the game clock.
Great block there by Cipollone. Read that play the entire way. Comes up to the D-man, Skelly, and Cipollone standing perfectly in the shot lane. Great shot block by Joey Cipollone.
Face-off will be to the left of Semptimphelter. And something that the Gargoyles did really well to start this game was winning face-offs. Richardson will be tasked with this one against O'Brien. And tied up off the draw. Anybody's puck for now, and Greensboro has won it. Shot by Sins at the line, kicked away by Carabia, blocks the second chance, and the third is punched away by Semptimphelter. All chances came off the stick of Richardson. Richardson From behind the cage, tries to stuff it. Septenfelter takes away the angle. Puck leaks to the line for a shot that's shanked. Stick is broken for Wade Murphy. Gladiators take the advantage. Go up ice, drop pass, intercepted. Up ice is Richardson, and it hits the broken stick. Oh, what a miscue. Richardson not happy. Gargoyles try and center from the far corner, and the Gladiators defense is able to take care of it.
That is a lucky break for the Gladiators. Richardson coming in on what looked like a 3-on-1. Puck just hits the dead wood at the blue line. It kills that chance for Greensboro.
Odd man rush for the Gargoyles, thwarted by a stick. Now it's Elmer, dancing to the inside, has some space, fires wide. Has the rebound in the far corner, working on his forehand. Nychuk defending, able to exchange with Fairmouth. Pass from low to high, wrestled away by Scardina. Fairmore gets it back at the line. Delmas shoves it down low, working there is Missouri. Gladiators strip it away. Nychuk streaking down the right wing, tries to hit Francis on the fly. Off the wall to Francis, behind the net, jukes out the netminder, and Scardina, the centering man, couldn't take the shot. Now a long-range one is turned away by the blocker of Ajizeyev. And Greensboro able to snap it out to center.
What a smart pass by Chad Nychuk there. Knew he couldn't get it straight to Francis. Puts it out right in front of him. And Francis gets a good opportunity on goal.
That was a high hockey IQ play if I've ever seen one from Chad Nychuk. Here are the Gargoyles. Backhand shot, blocked between the circles. Puck leaks back out to center. Skelling will drive it back in. 2:15 left in the second period. Matier on his forehand. Slides it left wing. Nychuk now across to O'Brien. On the move, finds Morgan. Peter Morgan into action. Cycles around the boards, connects with the pump. Jarvis reverses back to the near side. Yoder pinching, can't keep it in. Puck goes out of play. And it's something on its way out with 1:52 left in the second.
Yeah, going back to that pass by Nychuk, springing Francis. Nychuk has the puck in his own zone. He's got Francis sprinted, but he can't make a take to take past him. So what does he do? He knows that Francis will beat out an icing, so he rips it as hard as he can off the end wall to have it come out in front of the net right on Francis's tape. Just a, as you said, just a great high hockey IQ play there by Chad Nychuk.
Chad Nychuk is off to a great season here this year. 3 goals, 21 assists, 24 points coming into the game. He's actually currently lining a 4-game assist streak. 6 assists in that span. Here are the Gargoyles back out to center. Gagnon tries to go right down the middle, has a man moving with him. So they distribute the puck around from the right circle. Gagnon with the back takes a shot off the outside of the cage. And Yoder will lift it out to center and out of play to about the third row. 1:28 left in the second. You have to wonder, Andrew, if there's a little bit of frustration settling in for the Greensboro Gargoyles. I mean, 25 shots on goal. They've had their chances. They've had good sustained offensive zone time here in the second, but they have just been given absolutely nothing. This Gladiators team has done a good job of making them pay, make a defensive play when they need to. Long shot goes wide of the mark. Contested along the left wing. And catapulted over to the far side. Yoder through the neutral zone, tries to find Sylvester. Ends up going astray. Icing on Atlanta with 1:11 left in the middle frame.
Yeah, back to your point there, Guy. And even when Greensboro has gotten good opportunities, they've just gotten unlucky.
Mm-hmm.
They had a 3-on-1 that just hits a dead stick in the middle of the ice. Just unlucky. Greensboro, as you said, definitely a little frustration setting in here for the Gargoyles.
I mean, there's been moments in this period where the Gargoyles have been the better team, as Sins fires one out the blocker of Septenfelter. Puck at center, Young skates into it, feeds it to the right for Sylvester, the captain, playing in game number 650 in his pro career. Centers for Nolan, wrestling in front is Young but can't get a shot away, and he gets stepped behind the play. We have our first penalty. Alex Young down at the top of the blue paint. He just got punched behind the play. 50.6 left in the second period. And so what had been a clean game to this point now sees its first penalty. Headed to the box is Denny Gore. Looks like Young gonna be all right, but that might have drawn some blood. We see Nick Nelson out there on the ice. 4 minutes. High sticking going against Gore. And so here is what could likely be the turning point in this game. Eco-electric power play for the Gladiators. We saw this last night in Greenville to start the game. Gladiators don't score on the first minor, but they do score on the second on the Orzek goal. And it was all offense from there. But Andrew, you think 2-0 game, tail end of the second period, Gladiators have a chance to really extend this lead here and put the Gargoyles away.
Yeah, certainly. As we said coming into this game, Greensboro, best penalty kill in the league. Would love to see the Gladiators strike on here before the end of the second.
Gargoyles do have the league's best penalty kill. Gladiators power play has been better as of late. Been about an up and down roller coaster this season with this Gladiators power play, but they did score once last night in Greenville off the stick of Orzek. Here is Orzek in that second unit as Atlanta drives in deep. Francis behind the net, fighting for it. Finds Batir on the left wing. Batir digging deep. Has Burns, so rotated to the right wing for Cipollone. Joey Cipollone off the wall to Orzek. Has a man left doing in Batir. Return to Orzek. Has Francis creeping in. He'll shoot, blocked in front. Rebound, cleared up in front by Delmas. And mailed all the way down to Septemfelter. 4 seconds left in the period. This eco-electric power play will resume at the start of the third as time runs out on the middle frame. So the Gladiators strike twice in the second period. First one off the stick of Jack O'Brien, getting his second goal as a Gladiator. And then Ethan Scardina with the third goal of his professional career makes it a 2-0 hockey game. And the Gladiators take 3 minutes and 10 seconds of power play time into the second intermission to start the third. Atlanta's up by a deuce. Coming up next here on the Gladiators Broadcast Network, we will have the second intermission report. We'll recap the first 2 periods, look ahead to period number 3, and as always, we'll take a look at our YouTube live chat and see what's going on with all of you here on a Saturday night here at the start of 2026. All that coming up on the other side of the break. Atlanta 2, Greensboro nothing, here from Gas South Arena.
This holiday season, you can count on Kroger. You get up high quality and down low prices. Up high quality with our exclusive brands and down low prices on all your holiday needs. Because at Kroger, quality and low prices always come together. Kroger. Fresh for everyone.
Desserts are popping up on Crumbles menu. All types of dessert.
More than just cookies. The lineup changing weekly.
Desserts now in rotation.
Welcome back to Gas South Arena here on Star Wars Night here in Duluth, Georgia. Guy Chiarenza alongside Andrew Fleming. Gladiators have a 2-0 lead after 2 periods of play over the Greensboro Gargoyles in the first ever meeting between these 2 teams. And Andrew, this game had a bit of a sluggish start, bit of a feeling out process, and that's normal between 2 teams who, first and foremost, haven't seen each other for a long time, or maybe for the first time of the season, or in this case, for the first time ever, as Greensboro is in its inaugural season. Gladiators have won their last 4, looking to make it 5 in a row. And of course, they are on a 6-game home winning streak, and this crowd has certainly played a part. Raucous building here at Gas South, Andrew. They have certainly been a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's been a great crowd here tonight for Star Wars Night, and the Gladiators really gave them a show in that second period.
Jack O'Brien has been dynamite for the Gladiators ever since the trade on Monday, coming over from Iowa with Nolan Orzek in exchange for Jack Robilotti and Anthony Furiolo. And seems like these two guys have been exactly what the doctor ordered for the Gladiators, as they have just been exactly what this team has needed offensively and defensively, especially after losing Louis Boudon and Isaac Walter over the last week. And so Jack O'Brien ends up becoming the answer to a Buffalo Wild Wings trivia question, as he is the first Gladiator, or the first player ever between these two teams to score a goal against one another. So there you go. I mean, it's one of those things where everybody will probably forget about it in a couple of weeks, but hey, if anybody's watching or listening, especially Buffalo Wild Wings, let's get a deal going. Let's get some trivia going. We're having some fun here on a Saturday night. Gladiators did take a 1-0 lead. 5:16 into the second period, off the stick of Jack O'Brien. And Andrew, let's talk about that goal for a second, because it was what seemingly an innocent play, a play that you see a lot throughout the course of a game. Jarvis to Denemy at the red line. Denemy does get crunched on that play, by the way. Tries to dump it into the attacking zone and takes a bit of a hit, but ends up proving dividends because Denemy just kind of hammers it off the near side corner wall, and it angles directly right between that negative space between the bottom of the circle and the blue paint. And there was a moment where the netminder, Jazeyev, thought about coming out and poke-checking that puck away. And he did. And he kind of gets caught in no man's land. There's some separation between him and the post. And it is Jack O'Brien taking a swipe at it and putting it into the back of the net. I'm interested to see your perspective on that play, because it was a bit of an odd one, but one that you like to see.
Yeah. I just want to start with just the play by Carson Denemy. Knows he's going to get hit, and what he could do, he could just chip that puck in, get off on his change. But he dumps the puck in with a purpose. He grabs that puck on the left side, dumps it in the far side where you know he has O'Brien sprinting into it and can get to the puck first. Chips it in far side, perfect bank off the wall right out in front. And as you said, it looked like Hedgesayev kind of second-guessing himself there. Does he come out to play the puck? Does he not? Makes the wrong decision there. O'Brien grabs it, just a little chip on his backhand right by the glove to give the Gladiators the lead.
O'Brien has 2 goals in his first 2 games as a Gladiator. Tonight, he and Orzek playing in their Gladiators home debuts. Last night was definitely a statement for those two, and they have certainly backed that up with a strong showing here today at home. Gladiators add to their lead, 10:20 into the second period. Ethan Scardina from Mickey Burns and Ryan Francis is able to get his 3rd goal of the season, and this is just a no-quit play from Ethan Scardina. Good play by Francis and company to center it to him between the circles, and Scardina has his first shot blocked, scores on the second opportunity, but you made a comment earlier in the broadcast, Andrew, that you think that shot block might have actually hurt the Gargoyles because it faked out the netminder. Elaborate more on that a little bit.
Yeah, so that puck comes into the slot to Scardina, and he just tries to take a quick one-timer, but it gets blocked. Reacting to that first shot, the goaltender goes down on his knees. Seeing this, Scardina, still having the puck, is able to pull it out of the scrum and has the entire top of the net to shoot at because the goalie's already down, and he puts it high glove to double the Gladiators' lead. Just a great reactionary play by Scardina, realizing what's in front of him and putting the puck exactly where it needs to go.
Scardina, first-year man out of Bowling Green State, seems to be getting better and better as the season goes on, really gaining confidence day by day. And I really thought that last night in Greenville, he was aggressive on the forecheck. He looked great, and that's kind of what we used to see out of Louis Boudon. And you think, Boudon now no longer on the team, in the picture, but that lasting impact that he made teaching some of these younger guys on this team, I think we're going to see that out of guys like Scardina, Joey Cipolone, Mickey Burns. I think we're going to see that come into effect as the season goes on, as guys step up, as this Gladiators team moves forward without Louis Boudon.
Yeah, and even that's Scardina's game. He plays with a lot of speed. He's a very fast skater. So if he can use his speed, get on the forecheck, force turnovers, he's going to be a great player for this Gladiators team coming down the stretch.
Gladiators up by 2 thanks to the goals from O'Brien and Scardina. The shot count, though, 25-12 in favor of Greensboro. And Gladiators get 6 shots apiece in each of the first 2 periods. Greensboro 12 in the first, 13 in the second. But this has kind of been the theme of the Gladiators season, Andrew. They're not really a high-volume shot-taking team. They're more quality over quantity. and that shows in the way that they win and the way that they defend. They will let teams take shots from the outside all day, any day, because they know Sentenfelter or Hyder is, one, going to stop them, or two, they're going to clog the area between the circles in front of their netminder and make sure that they don't even have to make a save. So, despite seeing 25 shots on goal for the Gargoyles, I think for the Gladiators, I think you have to be pretty pleased.
Oh, certainly. You know, you've given up 25 shots on goal. The Gargoyles have had some pretty high-end chances. As we touched on in the period, they've gotten a little bit unlucky, but also Sentenfelters came up and made some huge saves when he's needed to. And the Gladiators, when they have opportunities, they're shooting the puck, as you said, getting high-quality opportunities. They're not just throwing pucks on the net for the heck of it. They're taking their time, and they're getting the shots that they want, and we've seen that reflected here on the scoreboard.
And the Gargoyles did have some good sustained offensive zone time there in the second period, but as you mentioned, Andrew, just a bit snake-bitten. They really had some poor luck. One chance ends up going wide on an empty net. Second chance ends up hitting a stick on an odd man rush, which was one of their own sticks that broke earlier in the shift. So not a lot of luck for Greensboro here today, but the Gladiators and the Rebel Alliance here on Star Wars night getting the job done so far. Talk about what they need to do here in the third period to extend their lead, as they will open the third period with 3 minutes and 10 seconds of power play time. Talk about how that happened and what they need to do with it on the other side of the break here on the second intermission report.
This holiday season, you can count on Kroger. You get up high quality and down low prices. Up high quality with our exclusive brands and down low prices on all your holiday needs. Because at Kroger, quality and low prices always come together. Kroger. Fresh for everyone.
Star Wars night here at Gas South Arena. Atlanta leads 2-0 over the Greensboro Gargoyles through 2 periods of play. Chiarenza alongside Andrew Fleming bringing you back to the second half of the second intermission report. Andrew, Gladiators with 2 on the board. Gargoyles held off of it. Have a chance to really put this game away here at the start of the third period. 3 minutes and 10 seconds of power play time left over from a double mire that was called back in the second period on Denny Gore for essentially punching Alex Young in the face. And so we'll see if Atlanta can solve the league's best penalty kill and extend their lead to 3 or maybe even 4.
Yeah, that would be huge here for the Gladiators. If you can strike within this next minute 10 you have of this power play, they'd still have another 2 minutes of power play time to potentially score a 4th goal. But I think just overall, you'd love to get at least 1 goal on this power play, extend that lead to 3, and really try and put this Greensboro team away, because as we've said, Greensboro struggles on offense, only averaging 2.27 goals for per game. So if you're the Gladiators, you get that 3rd goal, you kind of essentially put Greensboro away at this point.
It feels like 3 is the magic number for the Gladiators this season to begin with, Andrew. And you mentioned that 3 number because of Greensboro's lack of scoring so far this season and their goals for average. But the Gladiators this season, when allowing 2 goals, are 8-1. When they allow 1 goal, they're 7-1. And when they get a shutout, which has happened once, they are 1-0. So the numbers kind of speak for themselves. Again, last night the Gladiators gave up 4-1 for the first time. This is the best defensive team in the ECHL for a reason, tied with the Florida Everblades for the best goals against per game this season. And so it's going to be interesting to see, because I really feel like if Greensboro gets 1 and makes this a 2-1 game, I think it becomes a little bit more interesting there, Andrew, because this is a Gargoyles team that had some opportunities in the second period, just got a bit unlucky, couldn't quite capitalize on them, but it feels like if they get some momentum, we could be in for a wild ride to the finish. But on the flip side of the coin, if the Gladiators extend this lead to 3-0, I think that might just about do it, but then again, you never know.
Yeah, you said it. This Greensboro team, they've had opportunities to score. If they put in one of these opportunities that they've had, this is a completely different game. And it kind of flips on its head here. You know, Greensboro would gain a lot of momentum by getting on the board. And the Gladiators might be in a little bit of trouble here as they haven't generated too much offense.
We'll see what this power play yields. Gladiators this season have been a bit of a roller coaster when it comes to power play production, but as of late, numbers have been good. Scored last night against the Greenville Swamp Rabbits. And so just looking at what the Gladiators have done on the power play over the last few games, which is kind of tough to do from memory given the extended break away that came from unforeseen circumstances. But the Gladiators have scored on the power play in back-to-back games. So you think back to the game before the holiday break / the extended break. The Gladiators went 2 for 7 on the power play against Greenville in this building. Last night they went 1 for 4. So this power play has been clicking as of late, Andrew. And keep in mind, Greenville is one of those teams that has one of the better penalty kills in the league. Gladiators solved it over their last 2 games. I'm curious to see, though, if they're able to break through against a Gargoyles team that they have not yet seen this season.
Yeah, and seeing this power play, obviously they got one last night, but it's interesting to see this power play without guys like Louis Boudon and Isaac Walter, who when they were with this team, that power play was really clicking. So it's kind of some different guys getting power play opportunities here. They should be excited to get these power play opportunities if they haven't had them before. And we'll see if the Gladiators can strike here with a bit of a new-look power play.
Yeah, and to that point, just a tail-end thought that this is the only penalty of the game to this point. So it feels like this may be their only chance on the power play in this game. See if they can make the most of it here to start the third period. All right, let's take a look at our YouTube live chat. I know we're itching to see what everybody's got going on here on a Saturday night here to start the month of January. First off, Happy New Year to everybody. I think we might be at the point in time where I don't know, after this point, you can still say Happy New Year. We're on to 2026. We're going. All right, we know it's 2026. We're ready to roll. And the Gladiators opening up with a win yesterday. Try and double down with another one here today. Let's take a look and see what we've got going on here in the house. We've got Stadium Arena having a good time here. April in the house. Peach Fuzz got some questions for us. Steelers or Ravens tomorrow night? Ooh.
It's a really good question.
Here's the thing. I think the Steelers should win this game. Well, the Steelers shouldn't even be in this position to begin with. They should have beat the Browns. But all that aside, I feel like the Steelers should win this game. Baltimore's got the momentum, Andrew. That is a team that is dangerous this time of year. Derrick Henry loves to run all over the place.
Lamar Jackson
is going to beat up the Steelers. Everybody thinks that they're going to give it all up, but give me the Pittsburgh Steelers. Aaron Rodgers isn't going to go out like that. He's going to get one more playoff game. The Steelers aren't going to drop that one at home. Give me the Pittsburgh Steelers to beat the Baltimore Ravens, but I think it's going to be an instant classic. And I would not be surprised if the Ravens do it.
I'm really excited, but I do have another question for you. Do you think this is kind of a loser leaves town game for these coaches? Pittsburgh with Harbaugh, or Pittsburgh with Tomlin, and Baltimore with Harbaugh. If one of those teams misses the playoffs, which one of them will after tomorrow night, do they let go of their coach?
I think if it's Baltimore, yes. I think if it's Pittsburgh, no. I think the Steelers win or lose, keep Mike Tomlin, but it feels like for John Harbaugh, if he loses this game, there might be some turmoil in Baltimore.
Okay.
But I do think he should be able to stay. I think he's a good coach. I think he's done a good job with that Ravens team. Had some injuries this year.
Yep.
Not their best, but usually playoff contender year in and year out. Speaking of playoff contenders, Andrew, let's take a look at the out-of-town scoreboard here. And for those of you who are just chiming in on our YouTube live chat, keep your comments flowing as we still have a couple more minutes before the start of the third period here at Gas South Arena. I'm interested to see what goes on around the division here today because things are starting to get to a point in the season where we're learning who the contenders are and the pretenders are. Atlanta, contender. Florida, contender. South Carolina, contender. Everybody else still remains to be seen. And so speaking of the Florida Everblades, they're currently tied up at 2 with the Orlando Solar Bears at the end of 2 periods in Estero. Florida currently sitting in the first seed in the South Division as we speak. Savannah Ghost Pirates take down the Trois-Rivières Lions 4-0 earlier today. So Savannah gets back in the win columns. They're still fighting for that 4th seed. And the big one here on the day, Greenville and Jacksonville. And those two teams have had chances to take a foothold on that 4th seed, and neither team has been able to do it. Winner of this game has sole possession of 4th. Greenville up 3-1 over Jacksonville at VyStar Veterans Memorial Arena. 3-1 the score, 17-33 and counting in the third. Swamp Rabbits looking to break their 4-game losing skid that the Gladiators extended last night at Bon Secours as well in this arena. With that, let's take a look at the live chat again. Both teams back out on the ice. We got about a minute. Guy, is there any other sports you'd like to broadcast for? I'd love to do football. Just showed off a little bit of football knowledge here. I'd love to do football, but so far hockey's the only thing I've done. But great question. Like that. Joe Mama says, Guy, have you been to Texas Roadhouse? I have. I love Texas Roadhouse. The rolls. The rolls are special.
Yep.
Sounds like you agree. Who do you think is our most dangerous opponent in the standings? I think it's got to be Florida.
Yep.
I mean, the Gladiators have shown that they can handle the South Carolina Stingrays. They're winning that season series to this point. They've only seen Florida once so far this year. TJ Sentenfelter shut them out in that game in Estero, a building where the Gladiators had not won in a long, long time coming to that game. But you speak of the Everblades, we're going to find out. We're going to see them later on in the month. 7-game road trip to cap off the end of January. We'll see Florida 3 times at the end of the month in Estero, starting on January 28th in the longest road trip of the year. All right, that'll do it for the second intermission report. Both teams are back out there for the start of the third. Gladiators up by 2-0, wearing their Star Wars specialty jerseys. It is a white jersey with black numbers, blue trim, clone trooper design. They skip from right to left here in the third. Gargoyles wearing a black jersey with silver numbers and gargoyle grape, which is basically just purple. Skate from left to right here in the third. Atlanta opens the period on the power play. A little over 3 minutes remaining on the double minor to Denny Gore. Alex Young, who got high sticked / punched in the face on that play, handles it on the left wing and actually blows a tire and skids down into the wall. Loses a hand on the puck, but Atlanta able to keep. Young drew that penalty to get things started on this first power play of the day on either side. And on the left side, Young tries to go stride for stride with O'Brien, but puck gets ripped away and driven down near Sentenfelter. And so now with 2:29 left on the power play, Atlanta rolls out to the neutral zone. Puck hits the skate of the linesman on the drop pass. O'Brien reels it in. Flies down the right wing, stops in the corner, centers, chance for Sylvester, battling there. Couldn't rip it away from Newell. And Greensboro will clear. It feels like Cody Sylvester has had some chances in this game, Andrew, but it just feels like off the mark with him here today. Just hasn't quite had that grade A opportunity that he needs.
Yeah, I talked about it with Shelby a little bit. You know, loses both of his line mates in Louis Boudon and Isaac Walter when that line was absolutely clicking for the Gladiators. So it's going to be a bit of an adjustment for him without his 2 former line mates.
Shockingly enough, in that 7-4 win yesterday, Sylvester did not register a point. As Francis sneaks to the right wing, stops at the point, scans the ice, finds Orzek at the line, return to Francis, cross ice to Mateer, off the wall to the corner. Errant pass goes to the Gargoyles. They slide it to center, and short-handed is Missouri. Just chip it down behind Sentenfelter, and he'll put on some pressure as well. And we do have a whistle here with 18:07 on the clock, 1:17 to go on the Gladiator Eco-Electric power play. It looks like there's going to be a penalty on Jack Mateer here, Andrew, so that'll end the Eco-Electric power play. We're going to skate 4 aside here. I believe hooking was the call on Mateer, and so 4-on-4 action at the top of the third.
Yeah, not a great power play there for the Gladiators. Weren't really able to generate any offensive zone time or offensive zone pressure. Had a tough time breaking into the zone. As we said, that Greensboro penalty kill, best in the league, so they showed it right there.
There's a lot left to be desired on that power play. So it remains a 2-0 game. Some open ice, and O'Brien looks to take advantage. Soars down the right wing, loses a touch on the puck, leaks to open space, and snatching it there is Kite, the defenseman for Greensboro. Kite over center, lifts it left wing, snapped up by Nychuk, and dangerously tried to go across for Conroy. There's a man lurking in the area on the forecheck for Greensboro, and luckily for the Gladiators, they escape unscathed. Still 4 aside for the next 35 seconds. as Conroy glides down the right wing, puts a shot wide of the net, has his own rebound in the left corner. Sparring with it is Skelly. Conroy up the wall, trying to escape. Sins rips it away, and now here's some open space for the Gargoyles. Out of nowhere, Francis tracks it down. Wide open was Lay. Francis comes all the way back to strip him of it. Gladiators were in the middle of making a change behind the scenes. That was what set up the breakaway for Lay, and then it vanished in just a second, but here he comes again. Lay on the left wing, bottled up by Conroy, sent to the end wall. Yoder is there to pick it free, and Atlanta slams it down the length of the ice as they are now on the Beaver, Toyota, and Mazda penalty kill. First PK of the day for the Gladiators, and it is abbreviated. As Weiss from the left wing finds a man behind the nets. That's Gore. They'll cycle out to the line. Dumas for a shot from the right wing, turned away and into the near corner. Yoder comes away from it, tries to swipe it out and goes out of play, but it does hit something on its way out, so no delay of game penalty. 7 seconds left on the sentence to Mateer.
Yeah, pretty good kill. Abbreviated kill here for the Gladiators there, but not really allowing any decent opportunities for Greensboro, keeping everything to the outside.
Faceoff will be to the right of TJ Septemfelter. At the tail end of the penalty kill, we will see Nolan, Jarvis, Young, and Carabia out there for the Gladiators. Not that faceoff. Greensboro has it. Delmas down the left wing for Elmer. Back to Delmas. Shot by Kike, and his stick breaks. Kike's stick breaks. Has to go get a new one. Rejoins the play. Puck slid to the trapezoid. Greensboro trying to hang on to it. Keep play alive. Puck comes to Jarvis, and he will just whack it through the neutral zone. No icing as it rolls in on Hudjazayev. Gargoyles look up ice, 15:30 left in the third period. Roach hacks off the end wall. Conroy floats it to the neutral zone, right on time for Sylvester. Odd man rush. The captain deals it to the middle. Shot by Orzek, just goes wide. I think the defenseman with a man back got a stick on it. Took away a grade A scoring chance. Meanwhile, Greensboro's got it. 5 minutes gone by in the third. Gumanzi says it's stripped away by Cipollone, working on the left wing with O'Brien. Greensboro just tosses it out to center. Nychuk comes barreling down the middle. Forced into the far corner on his backhand, wheels it behind the net. Greensboro trying to escape, and Sins will draw a penalty. Denemy is going to sit. 2 for tripping, and here is Greensboro's chance to climb back into the game.
Yeah, it's a tough one for Downey. Trying to make a play on the puck, gets his stick caught in the skates. Gladiators going right back to the kill here.
It's Atlanta 2, Greensboro nothing. Atlanta to the penalty kill, presented by Beaver, Toyota, and Mazda. As Septemfelter gets a tune-up on his right pad, courtesy of equipment manager Ben Ellis, who celebrated his birthday yesterday. So happy birthday to Ben. Our equipment manager, Septemfelter, still working on that pad, and got it completely off. So we'll see what ends up happening here with this.
Looks like Hyder's getting his gear on.
Yeah, they might have to bring in Ethan Hyder for a second here to avoid a delay of game. And yep, that's exactly what's going to happen. So Septemfelter is going to give Ethan Hyder a fist bumping. That is a strange sequence as I've ever seen one. Septemfelter off to the locker room. and Ethan Hyder in. So Hyder stops a career high 41 of 45 last night in Greenville, gets the win, his 10th of the year, and now he comes in for Septim Felter, who appears to have an equipment issue. And Hyder does not get any chance to warm up, comes in cold. Worth noting as Greensboro starts its power play.
Very interesting situation here.
Newell around the boards, up to the right point. Delmas, left wing. Feeds it right, slap shot over the head of Hyder. Now at the line, Delmas shoots. Hyder eats it. 14-13 to go in the third. 1:37 left on the penalty to Denemy.
You got to think, Hyder hasn't seen a shot since warm-up. He's been sitting on the bench all game, and he gets thrown in the third period of a 2-goal game on the penalty kill. Comes out there, makes his first save. Good on Ethan Hyder. Love to see him keep it going here.
Face off to Hyder's right. Star Wars music plays. Critical moment in the game. Gargoyles win the face-off. Delmas feeds left wing. Weiss to the goal line. Open man, played it back to Weiss on the left wing. They'll cycle it back up top. Delmas looking back to Weiss. Left circle, cross ice behind the intended target in Newell. Jolts it to the line. Left side Weiss again. Drop pass. Delmas has an open man on the right side. And Hyder just gets enough of the shot from Newell. Now from the right corner, Gargoyles continue to work. 1:07 left on their power play. Left side shot off the stick of Weiss. Conroy tries to pitch it away. Held in at the line for a shot. And it stays out. Hits the post. Hyder snags it. And chaos ensues. Carabia all tied up with David Gagnon. Everybody with a man in front of the blue paint. Hyder makes that stop, but Andrew, I'm curious. They ruled it a no goal, but there was no sound to that one, not at all.
But you know what? That's the right idea by Greensboro. You have a power play. Hyder coming in cold. Put the puck on net.
Yep.
We saw him overslide that first one that almost got behind him. We saw him almost overplay that last one there. Greensboro's just got to keep putting the puck on net here.
Face off to the left of Hyder. Gladiators trying to hang on here. For those of you just joining us, TJ Septemfelter experienced a bit of an equipment issue. Not quite sure what exactly happened there. It had something to do with the right pad or his right leg. Ends up going off before the power play starts, and Ethan Hyder has come in relief. As the Gargoyles look to cut Atlanta's lead in half. They'll jolt it down to the end wall. Working there, Rinaldi on his forehand shoves it to the line. They'll work down the wall. Lay behind the goal line. Serves it up top. Cross ice feed. Rinaldi top the right circle. Shoots. Blocked in front by Richardson. The Gargoyles' own man. Now at the right point, Rinaldi feeds it to his left. Lay on the left wing, shanks the shot. Gladiators get in front of it. Burns gets hooked, draws a penalty right at the end of the sentence to Denemy. So Denemy out of the box. Atlanta to the Eco Electric power play when we come back. 12:37 left in the third. Ethan Lay in the box. 2 minutes for hooking right at the end of the penalty kill for the Gladiators. It is successful, and now they have their second power play of the day. First one was a double minor that they did not score on and ended up getting cut short to a penalty against the Gladiators. And again, Andrew, at this juncture in the game, approaching the midway point of the third, time running out, really feels like if the Gladiators put one in here, that could just be game.
Yeah, we said it during the second intermission. You know, 3 is kind of the magic number against Greensboro, only averaging about 2 goals a game. To get that third one, you can pretty much put them out of the game.
For those of you who are just joining us, TJ Semptimphelter left the game earlier in the third period due to an equipment issue, something to deal with the right pad. He has not since returned. Ethan Hyder has taken over between the pipes, and that timeout actually benefits Hyder a little bit, Andrew. We see him to our right warming up as much as he can. Got thrust into that penalty kill without any chance to warm up at all. Ends up making a couple of big saves. Gladiators keep their 2-0 lead, and now look to extend it on the power play.
Looks like they're going to throw Denemy back in the box for 1 second here. So we'll have 1 second of 4-on-4.
It's a bad beat for Carson Denemy. Face off to the left. Kojazeev. Young will take it to start the power play, and now Denemy out of the box, and officially is an eco-electric power play. So, Greensboro able to muscle out the center. And not much more. Atlanta's pressure forces them back below the goal line. Behind the cage, Richardson spins, and now he'll mail it down for a gargoyle clear. 12:15 to go in the third, 1:35 left on the Gladiator power play. Young takes it in stride. Got to give a give and go to Ryan Nolan at the line. Greensboro sniffs that out. Pass along the left wing, and they're in short-handed. Newell trying to cut towards the net. Boxed out by Nychuk. Atlanta goes up ice. 2 men back for Greensboro. Sylvester on the left wing. Takes a shot, looking for a tip. It goes wide. Nychuk keeps it in at the right point. Plays it off the wall to Nolan. Ryan Nolan back to the line for Nychuk. Looking back to Nolan. Right circle shot. Stopped there by the netminder. And at the line, Nychuk takes it back in. Sylvester, left circle, chips it to O'Brien. And now the Gargoyles will clear. Hyder out to play it. Sticks it to Orzek. 30 seconds left on the Gladiator power play. Cipollone swipes it down the right wing for Francis. Looks to center. Cross ice. Mateer. Shot stopped. Rebound. Could not be punched in by Cipollone. Got tied up there for a second by the lone man back. Waiting back door. That was Borshov. Burns keeps the play alive. Has the skate of the referee. Goes to the blue paint. And Greensboro skates it out. Oh, what a check by Mateer. Throw it on Lay on the near wall. Absolutely bulldozes him. Power play comes to an end. Still 2-0 Gladiators. Shot from the right wing, kicked away. Atlanta rattles it back in on the left side. Appel can't hang on. Greensboro out to center. 10 minutes left in the third. Carabia tries to outlet on the right wing. Greensboro gets in front of it. Rinaldi crashes down the right wing. Conroy sends him to the ice. And from that area, Scardina peels the puck away, and Carabia will lead the charge on the breakout. Conroy surges down the left wing, over the blue line, wires it to the right wing where Morgan is waiting. Contested puck, skated out by Greensboro. On the move is Roche. Shot from the right wing into the glove of Semptimphelter. And we will pause with 9:24 left in the third. Timeout on the ice. We're going to take one as well. Gladiators 2, Gargoyles nothing. 9:24 left in the third when we come back.
This holiday season, you can count on Kroger. You get up high quality and down low prices. Up high quality with our exclusive brands and down low prices on all your holiday needs. Because at Kroger, quality and low prices always come together. Kroger. Fresh for everyone.
Desserts are popping up on crumbles, man. Cookies, all kinds of desserts.
More than just cookies. The lineup changing weekly.
Desserts now in rotation.
9:24 left in the third period. Atlanta leads 2-0. Both goals scored back in the second period. As Greensboro fires one out of play. 9:19 to go.
So now I got a question for you, Guy. If you're Coach Ginn and TJ Septemfelter comes back, Pat's all fixed, do you put him back in this game or do you let Hyder ride it out?
That's a good question. I think that you put Septemfelter back.
I'd agree with you.
I think that while Hyder's played well coming in relief, if Septemfelter's good to go, then he should be able. He should get to finish this one out. But that is an interesting question that you bring up there, Andrew, but we haven't seen him yet. Here's Sylvester, home run pass, looks to center, and it is broken up by the defensive stick of Dalton Skelly. And interesting to see Sylvester pull up on that play instead of just trying to rip a shot off.
Yeah, it was a bit of a tough play coming in on his backhand. Didn't look like he had much room to slip it to his forehand, so tries to spin around, make a play to the middle, just nothing there for him.
Either way, it's a good defensive play by Dalton Skelly. Keeps it a 2-goal game. As Richardson from the left circle takes the shot. That's a glove save by Hyder. And he will freeze with 8:33 to go in the third. And Greensboro with that shot now hits 30 on the night to Atlanta's 15. Looks like Septemfelter out of the tunnel, back onto the bench. And he's looking. Puck is dropped, so he's going to have to wait a little bit. Did see Matt Ginn give a little bit of a hand gesture, a little bit of a spinning motion with his hands, so looks like he's going to let this game roll for a little bit. But all indicators point to Septemfelter coming back at the next whistle. Denemy cross ice to O'Brien, enters on the right wing. Chases it down to the end wall, throws a nice check there on Borshov. Just divorces him from the puck. Cipollone will turn to O'Brien in the near corner, and Greensboro able to sniff that. Drive down the right wing. Here is Newell at the trapezoid. Slammed off of it by Matier. Able to skate back into it. Played to the line. Fumbled there. Drifted across. Delmas to the left wing. Open man. Shot stop. Hyder rebound. And it's at the top of the blue paint. Hyder doesn't know where it is. Just tries to poke check it away. Atlanta waffles it out to center. Ooh. Add that one to another of the lengthy list of unlucky chances for the Gargoyles. But Ethan Hyder and the Gladiators able to keep it out. Here's Conroy on the right wing, looking up ice. He's got some speed. Conroy right over center circle. Bounces to the left wing, takes a shot off the stick of Delmas. And out of play with 7:09 to go.
And here comes Septemfelter back into his net.
So there you go. Questions answered. Hyder, tip of your cap to him. Comes in relief. Keeps it a 2-0 game, and Sentenfelter will resume what he started. A 2-0 Gladiator lead.
You really got to admire Ethan Hyder coming in here, coming in cold, facing a power play. Makes probably between, 5 and 7 saves.
He actually goes 6 for 6.
Perfect.
Have the exact stat line. So Sentenfelter 26 of 26 to this point. Hyder goes 6 for 6 in relief. Ends up playing about 7.5 minutes. And that's about all you can ask for out of Ethan Hyder. Job well done.
What a great goaltending duo that this Gladiators team has. Just stellar.
That really is a microcosm of it, Andrew, this season. I mean, whenever their name is called upon, they deliver. Ethan Hyder back on the bench with a big grin.
Get a little workout in for him.
And I mean, now that jersey is game used, game worn. It sees some action. But, I mean, that is the life of a goaltender, right? Even when you're not playing and you're on the bench as the backup, you got to be ready when your name is called, and Hyder was. Again, big tip of the cap to him. And fans not very happy about the latest whistle. False start on the face-off to the left of Sentenfelter, and so we stop with 6:54 to go. And it's interesting to see here down the stretch, 1, how aggressive the Gargoyles become in their pursuit to score, and 2, how aggressive their head coach Scott Burt will be when it comes to pulling the netminder should they still be down as time ticks on. We shall see. In the meantime, Greensboro setting up shop offensively, scoots it into the near corner. Gladiators pick it free. Burns can't get out on the left wing, but Conroy will. From the red line, takes a check, but not before distributing it to the trapezoid and getting off for a line change. 6:25 left in the third. Soaring upwards is Elmer. Pocket picked by Riley Appelt. And getting dragged down was Carabia, and that will draw a penalty. Palms in the air for Zach Fairmouth, but that is about as textbook as a holding calls you'll ever see. Delayed penalty on Greensboro.
Almost took Crabia's arm off with that one.
Almost straight up clotheslined him. Just struck out the arm. Carabia gets hauled down, and net empty for the Gladiators. 6-on-5 until Greensboro touches up. And they do. So 5:55 to go in the third period, and in a game that saw no penalties for the first 2 periods, just about until the one at the end of the second. Now you've got another Gladiators to the Eco Electric power play when we come back to Duluth. Atlanta to the Eco Electric power play for the third time today. Face off to the left of Fajazeev. Gladiators win it. Nychuk to the right point for Sylvester. Drops it down the wall and now takes it in return feed. Sylvester looking left, passing right. Left circle, Young back across, and one too many passes. Nolan gets slammed down on the scoring opportunity right on the doorstep. Fajazeev makes the stand. Now on the right circle, Sylvester fumbles, turns it over, and gets it back. Sylvester across to the right wing for Nolan. Doesn't shoot, delays to the line. Nychuk handles, fakes the shot, feeds it right. Sylvester is there. Back to Nychuk at the line. And now to the left circle for Young. Back to Nychuk, fakes another drive. Nychuk to Young. Softly down to the goal line for Nolan. Finds Nychuk back at the line. He'll take a shot, blockered away. by Chiarenza. And Atlanta continues to cycle. Pinned up along the end wall is Sylvester. Atlanta trying to keep puck possession. Puck leaks free. Fans seeing Nolan get chippy in front, and he had a fight. Ryan Nolan with Borshov. Gets it a good right hook. Drags him around, tries to get another. Nolan with the bucket off. Trying to get another punch in. That does. Whacks him right in the face. Nolan, can he get another? Fans on their feet, and the fight will come to an end. Nolan and Borshov both gasped, but listen to that crowd.
What a good scrap between those two guys. Battling right out in front. Borshov looks at Nolan and says, hey, you want to go? Nolan obliges. Got a great fight out of that.
Ryan Nolan gives the fans what they paid for. Palms in the air, saying, give me some more. And you can kind of feel it. Right in front of the net, they start to joust. It actually starts behind the net, kind of just drifts upwards right in front of the netminder, Chiarenza, and you can kind of see the fans getting into it as well, noticing. Crowd got louder and louder, and then Nolan just says, all right, here we go, drops the gloves, and get a good old-fashioned scrap here on Star Wars night.
Yep, and less than 5 minutes left. Obviously, 5-minute penalty for fighting. Those guys are going to hit the showers early.
We are going to see an extra 2 minutes tacked on to Ryan Nolan, and so that changes things here. We should be going to 4-on-4, although the clock has wiped off the penalty to the gargoyle that was in the box. So it looks like there's 5 Gladiators out there and 4 gargoyles, but the score clock reads a penalty to Nolan and nothing else. So how much time is left on this power play? Well, your guess is as good as mine. Meanwhile, Matier, cross ice to Francis at the right point, hits a skate on the centering feed, and the Gargoyles will possess. They'll skate down the left wing, it's Newell to the right wing for Lay, shot in front, blocked by Francis, got down to one knee to make that block, and Atlanta has possession. I wonder what they're going to do with the clock here, Andrew.
Yeah, this is really interesting.
And now they blow the whistle. I think that was offside, but are they going to take a look at this here? Because there's no way of knowing how much time was left.
Should have maybe 7 seconds left, right? I think it was at 50 seconds.
Yeah, here we go. They're going to take a look at the scores table. Fairmount's still in the box.
Should be 4-on-4, shouldn't it?
That's what I thought it was going to be, but it ended up still being 5-on-4 power play for the Gladiators.
But then again, the Gladiators don't have anyone in the box.
No, they don't. So I'm not sure if that second penalty to Nolan, or I guess that extra 2 minutes should have ever been added in the first place. I don't think anybody really knows. And the thing is, you've already gone about a minute of game time since that happened. I mean, you can look at the penalty to Nolan, subtract the time, so it's been about 43 seconds of game time since that play happened, and what a mess this is. And I don't think they're gonna fix it either. They're gonna go line back up and start the next face-off and run the Gargoyles bench. And the two offensive officials in the scores table putting their palms up saying, wait. And they're both looking at the clock trying to figure this thing out. So they put,
because after the fight, we never got any sort of sign of a penalty on the Gladiators. They just put it up on the score clock.
Yeah, I don't really know what is going on. I mean, what in the world? And this isn't the first time we've seen this happen in this building either. It's happened at least once or twice before. And yeah, now they're motioning for the linesmen to come take a look at this. The two clock operators. And so, what a job here by Shelby. You see the clock here on the replay that we've got upstairs. So it looks like at the time of the fight, there was 4:44 left on the clock and about 50 seconds left of penalty time on the Gargoyle penalty. So, well, now they wipe off the time. So I think it was 1:13 that was left. So it seems like it should be 43 seconds drained off the clock. Make that 44 you round up. I don't know if we have enough time to do that math. They're gonna drop. They're gonna drop the
5
puck.
seconds, yeah.
And so they do drop it. 5 seconds on the penalty clock, and that'll wind down, and we're back to even strength.
What a weird sequence of events.
I'm just glad we didn't have to do any more math on the air. I mean, my University of Utah math, it ain't that good. There's a reason I talk for a living. Here's a chance in front. Somethingfelter able to kick it away. Mateer up to Morgan. Now Denemy at the red line. Can't quite reel it in. Comes to the Greensboro netminder. And so 3:25 left in the third. Down by 2. Jazeyev looking at the bench, and away he goes. So Scott Burke calls him over. Greensboro with the net empty. Now at a 6-on-5 advantage. Gore around the boards to the right side. Takes the return feed. Actually lets it go to the far corner. Now gets it back. Jolts it to the line. Across they go to Delmas. On the half wall, they find Newell. Back to Delmas. Drifting left, has an open man. Wiesa shot. Glove save. Semtenfelter. Puck stays alive. Atlanta clears to the line. And oh, what a keep by Wies. Able to put a glove on it. Keep the play alive. O'Brien fighting on the left wing. Tries to get it out. Ends up coming to Denemy. Looking for the empty net. And it just goes wide. Already a big weekend for 18. 1 goal, 1 assist. He's come alive offensively over the last 2 games, trying to cap it off with the cherry on top on the empty netter, but ends up going down as an icing with 2:39 to go. Hey, what do you think, Andrew, on a play like that? If you're Matt Ginn, Zach Fennell, are you all right with Denemy taking that chance and risking the icing, missing that empty net?
If he doesn't have the opportunity to break the puck out, gain the red line, and at least get the puck in deep, then yeah, take the icing, get a whistle, catch your breath. But if he has an opportunity to break that puck out, exit the zone with possession, and then gain the red line and potentially get a dump in or try and hit that empty net, I'd be fine with it.
Conroy lifts it to center. Greensboro flags it down, and on the forecheck is Denemy. Tries to knife it away behind the net, but just a step behind, so he's going to head to the bench. And the Gargoyles will turn up ice. Again, 6-on-5, net empty for Greensboro. Down by 2. Centering feed, broken up. Chance gets to the goal, and Semtenfelter able to punch it away at the last second. Now at the line, Delmas to Wies, top of the left circle, spins away. Sylvester follows him as he distributes it to the left wing. Now at the line, Delmas fakes, now fires, soft shot, kicked away by Semtenfelter. 1:45 left. Puck comes out to center. Cipolo has it knifed away. Young's got the rebound. Alex Young will miss the empty nets.
I think that puck just rolled on him. Looked like it was a rolling puck as he carried it the whole way in. He just rolled on him there and he missed the net. What a tough break for Alex Young there.
Puck goes out of play, and I mean, what do you say? Sometimes the puck has a mind of its own.
Yep.
But with that stoppage, the face-off in the Greensboro zone, so coming back into the net is Jazeyev, and now Scott Burke, Greensboro head coach, is going to call his timeout. They're going to break out the whiteboard and draw up a play here with 1:34 to go. So 94 seconds on the game clock. Gladiators lead 2-0. Both goals were scored back in the second period. First was Jack O'Brien, about 5 minutes in, and then about 10 in, it was Ethan Scardina to make it a 2-0 lead, and that is where we stand. And it's been an interesting game to this point, to say the least. Last night was all about scoring. Today's been all about defense, and we've seen both goaltenders play here today. Semtenfelter started the game, left for a portion in the third period due to an equipment issue. Ethan Heiner comes in for 7 minutes and 29 seconds, ends up killing off a penalty, stopping 6 of 6. Semtenfelter then returns, and he has stopped 3 shots since. He's now to 29 out of 29 here tonight. Face off to the left of Jazeyev. Gladiators win the face-off, put a shot on goal, and oh, it almost goes in. Crashing the crease was Denemy. He really wants that goal. But as Jose able to keep it out, and back to the bench he goes. Gargoyles with control. Skate down the right wing, put a shot on Semtefelter, and looked like he was looking for that empty net. Instead finds Nychuk. Up ahead, Scardina. Doesn't get greedy. Tries to slide it across, nobody home, and the Gargoyles keep possession.
You'd like to see Scardina just take that one and put it in the net, put this game away.
Would have been his second. I guess it's good sportsmanship. Gladiators whack at the length of the ice. That should be an icing. And it will be with 50 and a half to go. So, Andrew, you think about what just happened here in the last two chances at the empty net. Alex Young just misses it. Puck on edge, sent out of play. And then Scardina has a chance at the empty net, and he isn't selfish. That's a good team guy. That's a good team player, but problem was he passes it across and there's nobody there.
Yep.
So, let's say theoretically if the Gargoyles score here and make it a one-goal game late, well, you don't want to think about it, but that's why you might as well just shoot to the empty net.
In the empty net.
We're not there yet. Still 2-0 Gladiators.
Semtefelter had the right idea. He was thinking about it.
Yeah, he did. He did think about it for a split second. Delmas to Missouri. Shot from inside. Grabbed by Semtefelter. 31.4 to go.
That's a great save by Semtefelter. Gargoyles able to get that puck there into the bumper. That bumper area in the high slot. Semtefelter reads it the entire way. Makes a great save with the glove. Keep this 2-goal lead with 30 seconds left.
And
we've
seen crazier things in this building. We saw Josh Atkinson score with 4 seconds left to put Greenville on board for the first time in the last game that Semtefelter played. Face off to his left. Gladiators wrestle it to the line. Shot from the right circle. Ends up going in and out the slot. 20 seconds to go. Shot directed wide of Semtefelter. Batir to the left wing. Sylvester can't chip it out. Flag down. And now wrestled out the center by Young. He's got another chance. Cuts to the inside. Has Cipolo in right wing. He will shoot to the empty net. And he will score. Joey Cipolo, with no doubt about it, rips it into the back of the net for the empty netter. 3-0 Gladiators.
Cipolo not even thinking about passing there. He says, I'm putting this one in the back of the net and we're going home with the W.
Joey Cipolo, 7th of the season, is the dagger. And that should just about do it. Face-off won by the Gladiators. Time will run out. And it's a shutout for TJ Semtefelter with a little bit of help from Ethan Hyder. The Gladiators and the Rebel Alliance take down the Evil Empire and the Greensboro Gargoyles on Star Wars night at Gas South Arena. They win it 3-0 to make it 5 wins in a row for Atlanta.
The force is strong with young Semtefelter.
What a night. Semtefelter and Hyder combined for the joint shutout. Hyder in relief stop 6 of 6, but Semtefelter gets the 30-save shutout here tonight as the Gladiators get the victory, improved to 21-6. They've won 5 games in a row, extend their home win streak to 7 games. And oh, by the way, the Gladiators are now 7-0 in specialty jerseys. Lots of love here tonight.
I'm just glad I didn't jinx Semtefelter tonight, you know. Felt bad after the last game. He gets scored on with less than 5 seconds left after I said the word shutout. Just glad to see him get this one here tonight.
Well, looks like the young Padawan is learning. You don't say that word until it happens, and it has happened. TJ Semtefelter, 30-save shutout. Ethan Hyder stopped 6 of 6 as well. And And the Gladiators are 21-6. The sky is the limit for this Gladiators team. Coming up next here from Gas South Arena are the 3 stars of the game. For those of you watching on Peachtree Sports Network, we will bid you farewell. Thank you for watching this presentation of the ECHL. Gladiators 3, Gargoyles nothing. Your final from Gas South Arena. 3 stars of the game. With the second goal tonight, it is Ethan Scardina. His 3rd goal of the season extended the Gladiators' lead, gave them that assurance that they needed. Scardina is your 3rd star of the night. And he just gets better game by game. Doesn't have the flashiest game in the world, Andrew, but he makes the plays that are necessary to win. I really like what I've seen out of him so far this season. Your 2nd star of the night with the game-winning goal is Jack O'Brien. Scored about 5 minutes into the 2nd period. And with the shutout, ends up being the game-winning goal. And he has 2 goals in his first 2 games as a Gladiator. What a pickup he has been. Gladiators certainly rely on him down the stretch. And shouldn't be a surprise, your 1st star of the night is TJ Septenfelter, but look at this. He's going to end up coming out of the ice with Ethan Hyder in the joint shutout. Hyder comes out to the tunnel. He's going to get a piece of the action as well. It doesn't happen without Hyder. Equipment malfunction there for Septenfelter in the 3rd period. Hyder comes in relief, stopping 6 of 6. Septenfelter 30 of 30. It is his 2nd professional shutout. And he gives Ethan Hyder a big hug on the bench for the primary assist on the shutout. He is downstairs with Miss Emma Harp. Let's see if we can tap in.
TJ, congratulations, 1st star of the game. Fans, let's hear it. All right, now, your focus during the game against the Gargoyles defense. This is the 1st time we're playing them. How did you feel tonight?
Yeah, I think it's exciting for us to see a new opponent anytime somebody comes in here. Obviously, want to show what Gladiators hockey is all about. Just want to shout out Ethan Hayter for being ready tonight. Tough balance with what happened with my skate and like that, but good on him for being ready, and that's what's special about this group. Everybody's ready, and it was awesome to get those 2 points.
I was about to say, watching that during the game, that was crazy. How both of y'all were able to keep your focus and keep it going during the game. Now, speaking about focus in the latter half of the season, what's going to be the key that you take away as we finish it out?
Yeah, obviously it's a long season, so just take it one game at a time. Can't take these games for granted. Obviously, at the end of the year, it's going to mean a lot. So we're just battling every night. I'm so proud of the guys for fighting and finding ways to win, and that's all you can ask out of the group.
Amazing. Now, last question. The energy tonight, Star Wars, very loud, very energetic crowd. How did it help you tonight? How did you feel?
Yeah, I mean, round of applause to the fans. You guys brought it all night long. So thank you for showing out. It makes it a lot easier out here to get energy going when you guys are cheering as loud as you are. So thank you for all the support.
Amazing. Well, thank you, TJ. Congratulations.
So TJ Septenfelter stops 30 of 30. Ethan Hyder helps out, stopping 6 of 6. And I guess the question now becomes, who gets the shutout? And I guess it might be neither. We'll have to do some digging here. We did use the word shutout here after the game, but we may still lose on that one. Quick Google search says that if 2 goalies combine for a shutout in a hockey game, then neither goalie gets individual credit. It's recorded as a club shutout.
Interesting.
So we'll see if that is the technical case when it comes to the ECHL, but either way, I think both guys, if we asked them about it, would still say that it doesn't matter. Win is a win. 3-0 your final score, and Andrew, everything seems to be going right for these Atlanta Gladiators. 5 wins in a row, 7 wins on home ice in a row, and we're going to see the Savannah Ghost Pirates next Friday night. It's going to be military night on the 9th. That'll be an interesting test for this Gladiators team. That Savannah is a high-flying, offensive kind of minded team, uses their speed to their advantage. But I mean, at this point in the season, let's call a spade a spade. This Gladiators team can win any which way you please. They've done it defensively, like they've done here today. They've done it offensively, like they did last night. And it doesn't matter really what these teams are throwing at them. They just find a way.
Yeah, I feel like we've said it all season. No matter which way a team wants to come into this building and play, the Gladiators are going to play with them, no matter what style you want to play. And the Gladiators are going to do a better job than them, because that's just the kind of team this is. They adapt and they overcome, and it's just been so impressive to watch all season long so far.
3 goals in this game. Here's how it almost broke down. Gladiators and Gargoyles scoreless after 1. Not uncommon between the Gladiators this season and their opponents. Scoreless first periods are nothing new. But Atlanta does break free in the second period. 5-16 into the middle frame. Jack O'Brien from Carson Denemy and Andrew Jarvis scores his second goal as a Gladiator in as many games. Wacky play. Denemy takes a check at the red line, dumps it in, angled off the end wall just right into the spot between the near circle and the blue paint. Jazeyev thinks about playing it but doesn't. O'Brien takes a swipe at it, puts it in the back of the net, and then the second goal for Ethan Scardina comes from Mickey Burns and Ryan Francis. 10-20 into the third. And the initial shot gets blocked. Second opportunity hits the back of the nets. And the Gladiators would tack on an insurance goal. The third period yielded 1 goal, and that was an empty netter from Joey Cipollone. And saw some of his teammates take a couple of cracks at the empty net and not have too much success. And so Cipollone makes no mistake, just hammers it into the empty of net and picks up his 7th of the year and makes it a 3-0 final. And that is what broke down here in Atlanta. Greensboro outshoots Atlanta 36-20, but it doesn't matter. Gladiators get help from both of their netminders. Blocked a lot of shots here today, too. Not sure what exactly that figure is, but they do block a lot of shots and end up winning this game. Gladiators go 0 for 3 in the power play, 2 for 2 in the penalty kill. And all's well here for the Atlanta Gladiators, Andrew. Things are looking up. It's a new era of Gladiators hockey. Maybe we can put the Star Wars references to rest. I don't think I've got any more of me. If you do, then by all means, use them here because it is Star Wars night. But it really feels like a lot of people coming into this season saw the Gladiators' success and said, all right, but it's the Gladiators, right? The history of this team, not necessarily known for winning recently, and so all of a sudden this team is one of the best teams in the league, and a lot of people are waiting for the wheels to fall off. But here's the thing, Andrew. I mean, this team faced its biggest hurdle of the season, losing Boudon and Walter, and they're still winning. So this is really a new era of Gladiators hockey. A lot of credit to Matt Ginn and Zach Vanel, the coaching staff of the Gladiators, because they have found a way to transform this team into a winner.
Yeah, it's a new hope, if you will. I'll throw that one. That's our last
There it is.
reference.
There it is. Did we hit the over on that?
I think we did. But in all honesty, yeah, as you just said, it's just been so impressive to watch this team play. You know, they lose 2 of their best players in Louis Boudon and Isaac Walter, and they still come out here and they find a way to win in these 2 games without him. It's just been so impressive from everyone in the lineup. You know, you got guys who started the year at the bottom of the lineup, and they've been asked to move their way up in the lineup, and they've been performing. Everyone's just been picking their game up, next man up mentality, and it's just been so awesome to watch this team.
It has been so much fun, and we'll get to do it again next Friday night, back in this building for Military Night. Gladiators, once again, wearing specialty jerseys, I believe. They are now 7-0 in specialty jerseys. Seems like we wear one every week, but they're always for a good cause, a lot of fun. Jersey auction going on right now, so if you're somehow still listening and you're not at that auction and have not made your way out of the building, go check that out. The Star Wars jerseys up for auction, but it ends up being the Gladiators now have won 5 in a row. 1 for the thumb. Atlanta soars to 21-6. Greensboro falls to 7-14, 5-1. And now let's take a quick peek at the out-of-town scoreboard to see if Atlanta now has possession of first place in the South Division before we take off for the night. All that hinges on the score between Florida and Orlando. Savannah won earlier in Trois-Rivières 4-0 today. And official final from Hertz Arena, it is the Orlando Solar Bears winning 4-3 over the Everblades in overtime. So Florida does pick up a point, and so they do have sole possession of first place despite the Gladiators win. But Atlanta now 1 point away from the Everblades, and we're going to get to see later in the month Those two go head-to-head. Should be a lot of fun, but as for our next broadcast, it will be Friday night, military night from this building. Starts at home and home with the Savannah Ghost Pirates. Next weekend, 7:10 puck drop, 6:50 pregame show. I'll have it all right for you here on the Atlanta Gladiators Broadcast Network. So, once again, your final score, Atlanta 3, Greensboro nothing. Here on Star Wars Night, Gladiators get the win. It is a club shutout, joint effort from TJ Sempton-Felter and Ethan Hyder as they get the win. Thank you for watching this presentation of the ECHL. I'm Guy Chiarenza for Andrew Fleming saying good night and so long, and we'll see you next Friday night right back here at Gas South Arena.